Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. And welcome to another class, another Shabbat first class, because we have two each Shabbat of here at Butaland. Well, I'm not on Butaland, but at Temple Kifarim, where we're going to go over scriptures and sorry about that. It was an echo. Um, but we have another segment of class. This portion of the class, we say what we're thankful for. We give honor and praise to the Most High, the Creator, for anything that may have happened on this week, this month. If you haven't spoke recently, yesterday, whatever you might want to say, you could post it on the screen. We'll read it and let the family know who you are as well. And then those of us that's here on Beulah Land, or those that are a part of Temple Kifarim, can also come on and do that as well. All right. So again, this is the first portion of today, first class, and we have another class at 3 p.m. Eastern. 3 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you come. Be a great lesson there as well, where we go over Torah portions, and I'll explain that later. Okay. So today we're going to start by giving what we're thankful for. Those that are on right now, please subscribe. You have not subscribed yet. Please subscribe. Take the time to subscribe right now. Like the video and share it. Okay. We get a lot of comments speaking on the guest speakers, the teachers, and their lessons have touched them and things of that nature. Go ahead and share that for other people that you might think need to hear this. Okay. We talk on a lot of matters that should help our community, help our people, the so-called black people, the so-called Israel as well, right? So without further ado, again, subscribe, like, share. If you are listening in right now, please say what you're thankful for. Give all honor and praise to the Most High. So I'm going to pass the mic. I don't know if Princess, you wanted to get it started for us, and then I'll go after you if no one goes behind at this moment. You are muted. Okay.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. So thankful for the Shabbat day. Um, Always a blessing to be here again on the Shabbat, to go through those long 6 days of whether it be work or just activity, but the constant moving. Thankful for that, because some people don't even have the ability to get up and go to work or do things. So I'm thankful that the Most High has blessed me with that ability. But I'm, always super thankful to make it to the Shabbat day, and a day of rest, a day of rejoicing, a day that is, set aside just for Him. Even though we pray every day and we do a lot every day in honor of Him or to glorify His name, but on this day we get to actually purposefully do it and do it with so many others. So I'm always thankful for this day and to be amongst my brothers and sisters. I'm thankful for traveling mercy that the Most High has bestowed upon not just myself, but my family, and even portion of my Beulah family who traveled. We have traveled in different spaces this weekend. So I'm thankful and prayerful that the Creator keeps those who are still on the land safe and protected and guided without us there. I am thankful um, this week, my mom's birthday was this week, and she's been gone from my family on the physical for 8 years. And it was hard to celebrate her in the beginning, but, in the last few years, we've done things intentionally on her birthday to celebrate her because that was one of her favorite days, that and Mother's Day. And so, it was a blessing this year to, even though we didn't do what we had set out to do because one of my sisters fell sick, but we still got together in different ways and still were able to talk about her and love on her. And I was saddened on that day though, because her best friend whom I've known all my life, called us to let us know that she has cancer. And, it's just so much is going on in this world right now. And it seems like every week I'm hearing about somebody that has cancer. And, it's just, we know that it's not a final, but it's just such a big thing. And so I'm not sure, it makes you wonder, like, if they're just out here giving it to people in different ways. Of course they are, in different formats, but what is it that we have to do to fortify ourselves? And it my daughter called me maybe like a day before that, or a couple of days before that, and was like, Ema, I'm changing my diet. I need you to help me, send me some meals because I don't want to be sick. I don't want to. And her grandfather just recently passed a few weeks ago from cancer. So she's just talking about like, and, and they've been calling me like, okay, what are you doing to make sure you're healthy and strong? Because, we're not prepared if this happens to you. And so, it's just a wake up call in so many ways for so many of us, and so many that have known about eating better and being better, but sometimes it does not um, hit you until it really hits you. So, I'm thankful that the Creator is opening up people's minds and their hearts to be better, not just physically, but spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And I, want to give thanks, and I should have did this first, to the Creator, for my parents and for my father who's still living, and for my elders and for my ish. But I want to, send a special prayer for my aunt who, they said the mass is too big for them to do surgery on right now. So they're trying to do some things to start so she could get surgery. So I'm just praying that, that if it be His will, that we're able to help her to overcome this battle. But just thankful to be here once again, and praying that the Most High guide, shields, and protect us on this day. Shalom.
May the Most High be praised. May the Most High be praised. There's so much you said in that piece that you just mentioned. For years, I'm talking 30 years maybe, anywhere between 25 to 30 years, I have always ate a different type of diet than most people. But during that time, I was always criticized, made fun of, ridiculed, talked down to, ostracized in many ways. People would always tease because I didn't eat like they ate, let alone the lifestyle I lived serving the Creator. My children was raised, I guess I would have to say vegetarian, where the only thing they ate was fish, no meat products at all. And then when they got old enough, they got to make their own choice. You guessed it, they ran to the meat. And that was maybe about 10 years ago. Since that 10 years, the majority of them had turned back to the vegan diet, vegetarian diet at least. When you're raised a certain way, if both the husband and the wife are not on the same page, that child will despise the separation from what the rest of the world does. The child will despise it because they want to be like the rest of the world. But if the husband and wife are on the same page, then those children take in those teachings, they absorb it, usually, not in every case, it's not always 100%, but usually the child will absorb it, will learn it and accept it, and live it to its fullest. So that's why you have to be careful of the mate that you have in your life, because the two of you must work in harmony to raise these children. So when my children got to their adult age, I would have to say about 70% of them returned back to that vegetarian diet. About 70% of them. And to hear you speak about, and you didn't share that information with me earlier, but it would have been nice. It would have gave me something to smile about. But to hear that in our home, well, they're not even in our home anymore. They're grown now. They in their own homes. But now they'll be thinking themselves because they see so much death and destruction around us that they're trying to prevent that type of thing from coming into their lives. It's a beautiful thing. But how much simpler would it have been if you just had heeded the instructions of your parents when they first brought it to you? If your parents was working together. Imagine if you'd have been eating that clean diet since the age of 5 or since birth. You've been eating that type of diet, and a lot of the things that are in you and wrong with you right now, you wouldn't experience because you wouldn't have known what it was like. You would have no idea what it was like. So it's just a blessing to see them now, today, a lot of the people in the earth returning to a vegetarian diet. But part of the problem, family, I want y'all to pay close attention to what I'm saying. You might not eat meat, but you still may not be eating healthy if you eat a lot of processed foods. Don't fool yourself to think, now that I stop eating the meat, I'm not eating poison. Because too many processed foods is not as bad as eating meat, but it's still bad. So when you start alleviating meat from your diet, you got to start eating a whole lot more fruits and vegetables than you do processed foods. So remember that, please. Take that with you and drink a lot of water. If you're going to drink juice, make your juice. Make natural juice. And don't think that orange juice is healthy, because it's not. Orange juice is poisonous. Stay away from orange juice because it fools you. Make your own juice. You can make any kind of juice you want from the fruit itself, and you're cool. So I just wanted to share that because a lot of times we lose sight of healthiness just because we say we don't eat meat no more. And we still poisoning ourselves with them baka burgers and all that stuff that's real quick and fast to eat. I mean, one day we'll give a whole health class, and then we'll get into it then. But as of now, I'm so happy to hear that the people are beginning to change their diets, beginning to walk in the way of the Most High in truth and righteousness. And please, family, stay away from that chicken. They are learning every day how dangerous chicken is. But we've been telling y'all for years now, chicken is unclean. Chicken is one of those things that no man who chooses to serve the Creator should be partaking in. No man or woman should be eating chicken today because it's an unclean animal. But I rest on that. I'm going to leave that alone for a minute. And that wasn't even my thank yous, but that was an acknowledgement to the progress of our people. So the Rabbah, may the Most High be praised. Yes, Hima.
I did want to mention too, I forgot. Also, my mom had a special thing she would do with me and my sisters. Like, she pierced all of our noses at different times in our lives at different ages. And on my mom's birthday, my daughter's been saying she wanted a nose ring for years, but she always be like, oh, I'm a chicken out. So I ordered the piercings for her to do the nose piercing. And she was like, I want 2. I said, okay. So on my mom's birthday, we actually sat in my sister's office and I pierced her nose on both sides. And it really made me feel even connected to my mom, because that was something she did with us. And I actually pierced my older daughter's noses too. But so it was really good. And my oldest daughter was there, my niece and my sister, and we just all, just reflected on the different things that we're seeing that we're doing that she did and carrying on certain traditions. And that was one of her biggest things, was like, if you know how to do it, then do it yourself. Don't go out here always paying somebody to do it. And that's something my Ish says all the time. And it made me think, I'm sorry, it made me think about, I went to go to the nail place that same day because I just wanted a color change. And the lady said $30. I looked at her and I walked out because I was like, I'm not paying you $30 to change the color of my nail, the paint. Like, that's a lot. And I just was like, you know what? My daughter can paint my nails. And when I got there, of course, I bought the vegan nail polish. I went to the store and bought vegan nail polish, and she painted my nails for me. I mean, of course, it doesn't last like how those people do it, but I gave my daughter that money, instead of giving it to somebody else. So it's just, these things are just, sometimes it hits us at times when we don't think it's going to hit us, to do things and to remember things, these practices. But we have to start at some point, and we have to start reestablishing these principles. So I just wanted to share that because it really made me smile. And what?
I'll wait. Go ahead and say what you're saying. I'll wait till you're done.
It did make me smile. My Ish did offer to paint my nails, because I'm sure he's going to say that. But I respectfully told him I appreciate the offer, but I had my daughter do it.
Why
So,
you tell about your nails? See, they might not understand that.
don't paint my nails because you tried once. But yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up, because it really that's something I'm thankful for, that I was able to carry on that tradition with my daughters. And she's my youngest daughter, so I was able to give her first nose piercings. She wanted 2. I was like, ooh, okay. So I'm thankful I was able to do that with her.
Well, that's good to be able to hand down family traditions. That's something that's missing in our communities. Family traditions. We got a lot of family traditions in Beulah land. We got a whole lot of things that we do as a people regularly. So we're going to keep up those things, and we're going to keep on building them. But that's wonderful. And when you talk about your husband wanted to, hey, you ain't paying attention. When you was talking about your husband wanted to paint your nails, I seen Naseekh go dark for a minute, and then he come back on again with a straight face. Okay, you with that, bro?
I was drinking some water.
Okay, no problem. But let me say this. I believe in my spirit, in my essence, I believe that we men should get involved with our Nashim in that manner. We should do things like that. I don't think there's a problem with that. And I'm the masculine of the masculine. I don't play that feminine stuff. But that is, to me, it's not a feminine thing, it's an art. And if you have the skills to do certain things, and plus to save money, we men should more get involved with the things that our Nashim like to have done that we are able to do. I think that's just something that we should be doing. I don't have any problem with that at all. So there it is. And they don't ask me, I volunteer. I say, hey, oh, you ain't gonna let me? And I get upset when they don't let me. They want to go to the nail. I'll be, yo, what's wrong? You rather let them do it than let me do it, huh? They say I can't paint nails, but I'm gonna move on. We're gonna list the Most High's day. We're gonna get back into the glory of the Creator. So let's go. May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah.
All right. Hopefully, those that was listening was enjoying that information. There was a lot within it. Those that's tuning in, that's just coming in right now, if you have not, I see we have a few more people that came in. Please like the video, subscribe if you have not subscribed, and also please share. Again, we're going to have a good, hopefully a good teaching for you all this morning, and definitely a great teaching on this evening at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Central. I say 2 p.m. Central because I may have some people tuning in that are in the Chicago area right now. So when we speak Hebrew, let's tell them what it means, you all. Please, this is a moment where you say what you're thankful for, and we will share it on the screen for those that are just coming in. Let us know what you're thankful for. We'll read it, and we'll go forward from there. Geberet, Miss or Achot Zakaria, Sister Zakaria, I am so grateful for Abba, Father, pouring into us, recognizing his true desire for us to draw near, and his compassion upon us truly blows me away. Like, who am I that he would show such great ahaba, love? And she used that properly too. Ahaba is the noun. Then she said, it's truly and extremely humbling to know that the creator of all things cares for me. He wants me near him and has given countless opportunities for us to draw near unto him.
May the
Told I,
Most High, yes, yes. May the Most High be praised. Go ahead, sis. You got it going on. Morah, using the Hebrew. I like that. That's
okay.
right.
There we have Geberit Kaza says, I am thankful for the season. I'm thankful for the season. All
May the
praises.
Most
All
High be praised, sis. May the Most High be praised. We're thankful for you. Total Rabbi.
right. If there's anyone else, please let us know what you're thankful for. Until then, we'll have Asante. Notice I put the Sade in there. Asante here. If you want to give honor and praise to the Most High right now, please do so. And then, of course, my Isha is with me. She's not on the screen, but she's with me. She may say something as well. Shalom, Ab. I see you there too. One second, Asante. We also have Geber Sharon or Mora Sharon for Goshen Hebrew Academy. So if you got children that you want to bring outside of the different moral compasses, ideologies, and things of that nature in school that kind of hinders us as a people, then Goshen Hebrew Academy is where you want to come. You'll get a hold of Princess Medaya, or you could get a hold of Mora Zakaria. Let's continue. Mora Sharon says, I am thankful for the Creator for allowing us to see another Shabbat day. I am thankful for the support and love I have around me, a genuine sisterhood, and that heartfelt mourning message she knows.
May the Most High be praised. Go ahead, Naseekh. What you want to say? You want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say that's a good insight. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Not a joke though, just amongst someone else.
Yeah, just for the record, Sister Zakaria Zamar, that's in the room, that's our Mora also, Mora Zakaria Zamar. So you can contact her if you're interested in those things pertaining to the school as well. So she's in the chat group with everyone else. May the Most High be praised. And Sister Sharon, my hat is off to you, sis. You're a wonderful sister. May the Most High be praised to the Rabbi.
All right. Okay. Morash Sharon says, I am thankful for growth. A situation arose with my family, and Prince knows my Abba, so he knows that we aren't the best with our verbal delivery.
No, y'all are the best, and that's why y'all do what y'all do so good. Y'all are the best. It's everything gonna be all right, sis. It's all gonna be all right. It's in the Most High's hands. He'll handle his business. And Shabbat Shalom, Abba. I see you in there as well. Shabbat Shalom.
And then we have Mishra Azariah, Shabbat Shalom. I am thankful for the new addition to our family, our son, Zachariah. Congratulations, Mazel Tov. And the protection of the Almighty toward my Isha Avia, or Geberit Avia, during childbirth.
Oh, may the Most High be praised. Now we're gonna read that, bro. But I want you to put in there, when was the baby born? How old is he? How long ago was it?
Then he says, plus the achievement of our son Yirmiyahu, who has been added to the National Junior Honor Society. Mazel
Oh,
Tov. Congratulations.
absolutely. How old is the baby, Zaria?
I think it was recently too, so I'm sure
Really?
probably, yeah, maybe within a month and a half tops.
That picture. I didn't see the picture up on the page.
Mm.
Normally I see, pictures of the babies and stuff. I didn't see that. But okay. May the Most High be praised. February 15th. Well, I'm late. I'm late. Well, congratulations, bro. May the Most High extend much, much blessings and love on the child's life. May he increase his days so that he may live a life free of stress, worries, and pain. May he prosper tremendously, mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah.
All right. We have Gaber Autumn says, I am saying Toda Rabbah. That's thank you very much for those that may not be Hebrew. I'm saying Hebrew. To our Creator for this whole weekend, allowing my Ish husband and sister wife to come visit my family in Ohio together. I'm very excited for tomorrow celebrating new life.
May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah, Toda Rabbah, Toda Rabbah.
The Bear Sharon, Morris Sharon says, I am thankful for the Most High guiding my tongue, guiding my patience. Slicha for the breakup of the messages. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right. All right. So, Salakli Adon, Asante, please praise the Most High in your way.
First, I just want to say Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
I've been gathering my thoughts. Prince and Naseekh, stay on me about making sure that I say things straightforward. So this week it's been raining. It's been raining quite a bit this week, and then so normally when it rains, those are kind of like days of reflection for me. So this week I've really been in a place of reflecting. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful to be reflecting over my life in many aspects. I'm always thankful for the understanding and the new wisdom that the Father has been showing me daily. I'm thankful that some things that I've been working on and working towards, He has brought those things together as well. For a while, I want to say maybe about a month to 2 months. I've been walking to work. Before I got to the Beulah land, I was walking to work. I was working the weekends. And so, whenever I had to go in, I live in Sparta, but I worked about maybe 25 to 30 minutes away. So during the weekends, I would just go and I would stay in town, so that I could get to work every single day, every night. And so, I'm thankful that the Creator has granted me the opportunity to be back on the road. It feels good to be able to move around. I've started another job as well, where I'm learning another craft, another trade. And so I'm just thankful for, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the things that I'm learning at this moment, while also being in a state of reflection and continuously seeking to, self-examine myself and remove things that I still need to remove, things that I may not see, that my leaders bring to me, being able humble enough and removing that ego, to continue, just being in a place of growth. So I'm just in a place of stillness, and I'm thankful for that. I'm very thankful for that.
May the Most High be praised. Oh, that was it? You got something else? Or you put it on mute. I mean, he done. Zehu. That's it. May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah. Toda Rabbah. It's a lot to be thankful for. It's a lot to be thankful for. One day, Azante, maybe you might open up to the family one day and share some of your life's experiences and your journeys from then to now and how you feel about life. Because you got a story to tell, bro. You got a story to tell. A lot of people don't haven't experienced life in the manner and magnitude that you have. So I know that one day when you open up that spirit and you feel the conviction when you want to share with people, you do so. And it's going to be powerful. Maybe that could be a lesson you do one day. We'll let you take the mic for about a half hour, 45 minutes, and just spill it. Just tell that story, because you got a lot to talk about. And he likes to talk. He likes to talk, so that won't be an issue. May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah. Thank you, bro. And welcome to the family.
Ta-da.
All right. Before I read this, those that's just tuning in, if you haven't, please make sure you subscribe, share. Powerful lessons today, most high willing, and also like. All right, we have Zakana to Celia. Okay, so Zakana is like elder, powerful elder actually in our community. Zakana to Celia, and that's for female. Zakane is for a man. Shabbat Shalom, family. I'm thankful to the Most High for another opportunity to praise Him with my lips and my limbs.
May the Most High be praised, sis. May the Most High be praised. Wonderful. Wonderful.
All right. Mukhana. All right. My Isha, she's going to, or my wife, she's going to give thanks now to the Most High.
Shabbat shalom, lakulam. Shabbat shalom to everyone. Definitely want to give praise and esteem to the Most High for another day, especially another day to rest from all of our works. Definitely grateful for my ease, grateful for my family tuning in when they can. Shalom Ab, Shalom Ishmael, Shalom family, and Shalom Father. Definitely just grateful for our process of healing. I'm definitely grateful, as Geber Shrom said, for sisterhood. And I'm not just a phrase, but I wholeheartedly felt and experienced a sisterhood within the Beulah community. Of course, not just during my time of mourning, but even before that. I feel like every sister is always making sure the next sister is taken care of in whatever way, even if the sisters have it. I always feel like when I'm with the sisters, I'm taken care of. And that is something that is truly a beautiful thing, especially when you're not in your hometown. And what I mean by that, like being newly married and you're getting used to the new family and just getting used to being out, and you have sisterhood that just engulfs you in a beautiful way. That is something precious, and I can't really put into words to describe how grateful I am. So
Toda. I'll go. Prince, if you have anything, I'll go. If you don't have anything to comment on.
Yeah. May the Most High be praised. Oh, man. You know, I often hear a lot of people speak about sisterhood. A lot of sisters speak about sisterhood. But I have not yet seen sisterhood like I see here in Beulah Land. I got to be honest. And I'm not blowing Beulah Land up because they don't deserve it. I'm blowing it up because it's true. I've seen the sisterhood here in Beulah Land go all out and beyond with sisters that I didn't even know they was their sisters. People just pop up, show up, and they can't let go. Even if they leave the land and go somewhere else, they're still connected to the sisterhood in some way, shape, or form. And most sisterhoods that I've seen where sisters all get together and do their thing, the sisters don't even like each other within the community. It don't last. They can't build. It don't work. If you're not blood related to somebody in this order, this fashion, that sisterhood don't build like it's supposed to be. Talking about each other, backbiting each other, spilling each other's secrets. It doesn't work. But here, these sisters that the Most High have me surrounded with, I got to take my hat off because these sisters are phenomenal and very, very, very impressive. Very impressive. I know we on to something great. I know we are, and I see it. And I'm going to do everything in my power to embrace it, to harness it, and to help it to prosper. I'm going to do everything in my power to see that happens, if the Creator would allow it to be that way. Because we got something that I don't see in nowhere in Israel today. Everywhere I don't see it anywhere. So may the Most High be praised. And I understand the emotions that she feels by expressing what she deeply feels. I can relate. And I understand it fully. May the Most High be praised. It's just, let me just say this a little bit before I move on. You know, I myself I bend over backwards to help people to do things that people that really don't even deserve it. So what I'm about to say, I understand what I'm about to say because it's personal and I understand it. When somebody shows their appreciation for what you do for them, $1 million couldn't take its place. $1 million could, all they got to do is simply say thank you for what you do out of your way. You go out of your way to make this happen for somebody in their life. All they need to do is say thank you, I greatly appreciate it, and show it through their actions. The sad part is most of us don't do that. We have a sense of entitlement, like somebody owes us something. And we might say, oh, yeah, I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. But we don't mean it. And you know how you know when somebody means it? Because they exchange it. Me, myself, this is how I move. You don't have to move like I move. And I'm not pointing no fingers. If you don't move like that, that's on you if you don't. But this is me. If I go into the grocery store and I don't have enough money to pay for something, and the cashier says, don't worry about it, sir, I got you. I'm going to take care of this for you. It could be $5. She say, or he say, here, I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. I'm giving that person my phone number. And I'm saying, if you ever need anything in life, ever, anything, no matter how big or how small, let me know. Just call me. I'm a stranger. I can stay that way. But if there's anything I can ever do for you, for the kindness that you have shown me, I don't care if it's your bills. I don't care if your house collapsed. I build houses and I do all types of things. So if it's anything, I even know a lot of people. If you need a connection or hook up on something, somebody to help you out through any situation that you may have in your life, and I do this to men and women, it doesn't matter. Anybody in the streets that do the least little thing for me, I'm willing to go all out for them to make sure that they get what they need. That's just me. So to hear somebody else to say, thank you, I appreciate what you've done, and then begin to show it. Let me give you a better example. This was a real life situation. Just the other day, I was in the parking lot, coming out of the parking lot, and I backed into a man's car. He's trying to zoom by, and I backed into his car by accident. I was driving my little car, so I didn't have no backup mirrors and lights and all that stuff. So I get out the car. It's an old man and his wife. The old man and his wife comes over to me. Well, the man comes over to me, and the man says, he just stand there looking frustrated. Big guy, looking frustrated, all upset and hurt, but he was controlling his emotions very well. Because, you know, when you hit somebody's car, they crazy with it. So he's controlling his emotions very well. He says, well, young man, what we going to do? I got on the phone, called my buddy who owned a repair shop. I said, yo, bro, I just hit somebody's car. Here's the guy's name. Here's his number. How much you going to charge? Send the brother the picture. The brother said, yo, I want this much. I gave that man like $500 extra of what that man, my man, said he would charge to fix the car. I says to the old man, he said, before I did all that, the old man said, how I know you're going to keep your word? I said, just take it to the shop, sir, and I'll get it fixed for you. Don't worry about it, because I don't want to involve the insurance company. Take it to the shop. I'll get it fixed for you. I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. He said, well, how I know I could trust you? I called my man up on the phone to the shop. He told me how much. I gave that man like $500 extra from what the price of the car was. And I said, now, sir, I got to trust you to give me my change. You go get your car fixed. You give me back my change. Here's my number. Please send it to me. That man did something for me. So I had to look out for him in a special way. Here, this is yours. Go get it done. Right away. He'll take care of you right away. If I was a bad dude, an untrustworthy dude, first of all, my man with the shop wouldn't have accepted my call because I wouldn't have his personal number. We got to show appreciation to people who do things for us. We just have to be those type of people, honorable people, stand-up people. And I ain't mean to rant so long. I just try to every opportunity I get to teach a lesson, a valuable lesson, in how we are to move as a people. You never know when something might happen and you need that. So I just don't, when people do things for me, I like to go all out and do for them. And you should probably be the same way, because that's what makes us as a nation return back to the culture of our forefathers. So may the Most High be praised. I'm going to be quiet now, but sis, you got me started, Naseekh. Shalom. Oh, Imam.
Shalom. I did want to speak on what Naseekh Muna said, because of course it got me emotional too. Like you fired up, because it's so important. That's the one thing I think we miss when we're building communities and congregations and in this nation. It's so important to have a sisterhood and a brotherhood within all of that. And as we've stated, and many of us on this call know, that it's not easy to build that. Like you can say, oh yeah, we have a sisterhood, because I've been a part of sisterhoods before. I have. But like with us, we title it sisterhood, right? Because that's just the common name to title it. That's what everybody can relate to. But when I speak and I sit amongst the sisters, the mothers, the elder women that are in our community, it doesn't feel like we're just sisters that drifted together. It feels like, we've known each other for so many years. We've been a part of each other's lives in different ways that we never knew. And one thing that I cherish with our sisterhood, is the fact that we're able to be there for one another, even in the good times, in the hard times, in the jokes. Like there's, stuff that we share with each other. It's just jokes and like private things we share with each other. And the best part for me is that I trust all of them. I trust all of them because they, without them even knowing it, have shown that they trust me, and also have shown me that they're trustworthy, through their actions. And I think a lot of times that's what gets us caught up. We get caught up in the title of, oh, we're a sisterhood, but we don't prove ourselves to one another. And not because somebody asked us to prove themselves to each other, but we prove ourselves because of our actions. We prove ourselves because we truly say that we are daughters of the Creator and we live that life. And I think that's what has manifested within all of us. And now we're coming together. And like Amuna said, like Naseekh Amuna said, we're all in different spaces. Most of us don't even live on the land that's in our sisterhood, but it's like we live on the land together in this other space that the Creator has already created for us. And he's bringing each one of us together in a different way. And the physical space, of course, is Beulah land. So it's like we're all geared toward, this growth. And, I just had to say that I'm just thankful. And I'm thankful that our younger sisters, like Naseekh Amuna, like my sister wife Autumn, and like Sister Uzziah, and, more Zakaria have, and I'm not an elder, but I am older. I've experienced a lot in my life, have, older sisters or sisters who have experienced a lot more to be able to help guide them. Because even though I came from a strong background, when you walk into this way of life, and, I'm not trying to down Israel, but it's the truth. You don't have that. It's not, the sisterhoods is not strong in welcoming other sisters, especially new sisters that the Most High has opened up their eyes, And so to be able to provide that is a blessing. And I just pray that the Most High continues to, be with each one of us and guide our tongues and our hearts, because we can easily get swayed. And I pray that, we continue to do this so that the daughters that, we continue to bring forth in this world have us to help guide them so they can make better choices as well. But that they understand that this sisterhood is deeper than just the word of sisterhood. It goes deeper than that. And then, just the Most High bless us. So Toda Naseekh for bringing that out. And, we love you. So we are here no matter what, where, when, time difference, all that don't matter. Shalom.
May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah.
All right, I'm gonna read Geber Sharon's. More Sharon's. Last Shabbat, y'all had a fire lesson. I commend y'all. Definitely came through with the wisdom. I had to watch the replay. It was so good. I needed to say that.
May the Most High be praised. We are so glad that we could be of value and of use to people.
She also says, yes, I always try to avoid getting the state, government, corporate involved in matters where our people should be able to resolve it together.
Mm-hmm.
She talking about that car accident.
Mhm.
I hit that old man. The Most High be praised.
So extra.
Trust is so important within sisterhood. That was Geber. Who was that? Geber Chelsea.
Shabbat shalom, Chelsea.
You can feel the love even through our chats, even though we are miles away. That was Geber Autumn, and then Geber Zakaria or Mora Zakaria says, "Hallelujah." Our sisterhood is truly, truly special. I have never experienced such a beautiful bond of sisters, and I know this is certainly the hand of the Most High Himself.
May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah.
All right, please make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Share. Get prepared for this lesson we're about to bring forth, and make sure you return at 3 p.m. Eastern time as well.
Before you say something, before you start.
Oh no, I had before I start. I wasn't going to teach right now. I had to say what I was thinking.
I was going to say before you give your thanks.
Okay.
Just wanted to say to the family, please, if you can, share on your social media, like right now, push the share button and share it on your social media, on your platform, your Instagram, your Facebook, or wherever you are. Share it. Push the button and actually share this video so that others can partake and see what's going on and get to learn as we move forward. May the Most High be praised. To the Rabbah, my apologies.
Ain't bad, yeah, no problem. So I'm gonna be short. I'm gonna try to be short. Um, as I always do, which I'm probably gonna do again when I do teach, but I want to give honor and praise or honor to my Ab and my aim, or my Abba, people say, and my Ima, which is father and mother, because without them I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now if it wasn't for the Most High using them to birth me. So I am thankful for them. And I just want to, I'm grateful for life, another day of life. I'm grateful for being able to experience what everyone has been doing in this time with my wife, my Isha, and their family, our family, I should say, luckily. And, one thing that took place, uh, Geber Sharon had reached out and had said that this was just, she showed something kind of similar. Well, Prince drove a lot of hours, long time, but Geber was willing. We have a spring ball coming up on the 24th of March this month. You want information about that, please contact Princess Medaya or Mora Zakaria. But we have a spring ball coming up, and we have children that's all over the states. They're not just in Georgia, but they're all over the states. So it's virtual schooling. It's accredited school. We do all the government requirements of the state requirements. Social stuff. History, science, all of that stuff, plus Hebrew, Torah, and culture, and other languages. But some of our students are miles away, and my Isha has a big family. And Geber Sharon offered up to drive out there just to get our little brother who goes to the school. And if you do the math, that's 2.5 hours, right? So that means she drives her there, to pick them up, comes back another 2.5 hours to be around the celebration. And if they go back that day, drive back 2.5 hours and drive back 2.5 hours again. We don't see that. When you're hearing people talk about sisterhood, brotherhood, a real community, we're very involved with each other. You know, even to the point where Prince try to make sure he wants us to have dinner every night with each other, but we all be going back and forth with Prince on that. But we do have dinner with each other and stuff like things like that. But it's a very involved community. And the Bear Sharon doesn't even stay on Beulah Land community. But if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, the Bear, because you're present, I feel like that she's a part of Beulah Land, right? So to do that, you don't see things like that. And I just wanted to commend her on that because I even stepped in and I was like, well, that's our brother. We'll go out there and get him. But then I had, me and my Isha was talking, like it is a lot of us. So we'll see. But that was that was awesome what she did. And I just wanted to give her honor on that and showcasing the real community, even without living on the land with us, So that's all I got. I really don't have much. Just grateful for the Most High for peace of mind and spirit, even in the midst of this chaotic world. And with that, I yield.
May the Most High be praised. May the Most High be praised. It's a blessing, man, to have people like that in your circle. It really is. I put up posts all the time. You got to be careful of the people in your circle. People you let get close to you. You got to be careful about those people. And we are very, very, very careful about who we let in that circle. So if you in, let me tell you something, brothers. If somebody come to you and say they in, then they are a hell of a person. Hell of a personality, hell of a spirit, and hell of a servitude toward the Most High. If they in, it's hard to get in. But once you get in, you set. It's like you special. And people might even look at you and say, how you do that? But it's all right. May the Most High be praised. If the Most High bring you, we got to accept you. Who are we to question when the Most High says yes? But once you get in, boy, we just open it all up and let it all, there's no holds barred. Well, Abba had to say that.
He said, for those that's listening or watching, this is our Ab, the Ab of Naseekh Amuna, my Isha. And he says, I am truly thankful, and that means father, for those that don't know. I am truly thankful for our community and for fellowship with people who practice what they preach. That the sisterhood that was shown during my Isha's transition has been a key factor in my healing. All praises to the Most High.
May the Most High be praised. Tell the Rabbah. May the Most High be praised. All right, family. My turn. Well, I'll try to be as brief as possible. I'm very thankful for, the fellowship, the brothers and sisters that we have here in our community, Beulah Land at Temple Kifarim. It's a beautiful thing. But you want to answer that?
He also says, and made an indelible. Ob is like a dictionary, man. I don't even know what this word means, but I'm sure in context, indelible mark on my mishpachah that are not in truth. I love and appreciate you all for being real. And then Gaber Kaza said, y'all try and have people tearing up today.
Yeah, it's a very emotional thing, very emotional. Toda Rabbah and Toda, we appreciate it, Abba. We will pray that we are able to continue to serve, as the Most High has fit for us to do so. And you all set a tremendous mark upon us as well. We just keeping it real, got to be honest, because I was truly overwhelmed and appreciated and blessed by all that I got to see and experience on my little journey there. So may the Most High be praised. But we made it safely on a journey we had to go take. My wife is having a baby shower in her hometown, so I had to drive all these hours, and it was hard. And it's never been this hard to drive 8, 9 hours. I fell asleep 2 or 3 times where I had to pull over in somebody's parking lot and trust the Most High to protect me while I slept. And only slept for about an hour, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, maybe. You never know when you sleep. You just get back up and you get back on the road. But I did that like 3 times. And I've never had to do that. So I guess my body's going through a change. I don't know. But the Creator kept us through it all. And I was driving down the road and I kept waking up and the road was in front of me. I said, oh, it's time to pull over and go to sleep. So I pull over again. 3 times that happened. But we made it. We made it safely with the Most High's protection. So I'm very grateful and appreciative. Normally when my wife comes, Naseekh is there to take care of the animals that we have. But Naseekh, this time around, we've known this for about maybe 2 or 3 months now, at least 2 months, that this was going to happen when my Isha had to leave and Naseekh and his family had to leave. So the question was, who's going to take care of the animals? The Creator saw that question. He heard that question 2 months ago. He already had it in store what he was going to do. So you see that young brother down there, Azante? He the animal king. He's the animal king. I mean, my dog is vicious. Tell that dog he will bite through the cage if he had to. But some kind of way, he kind of liked the animal king. He let the animal king walk him the other day. I'm looking at the camera, and I see somebody walking through the woods. We got cameras on our land. We watch it all. We want to know what's up. You are secure on our land. So I see somebody walking through the woods, Zante walking through the woods with a dog. I thought it was our female Rottweiler because the male Rottweiler is so vicious. I call Zante up, hey, you Shalom, you walking the dog? He said, yeah. LeBron let me walk. I said, LeBron? It took me by surprise. I was surprised because LeBron ain't no joke. That dog, he don't like nobody or nothing. Naseekh, it took him a while, but Naseekh got in. But see, Naseekh knew him since he was little also. He just wasn't really going in the cage, letting him play with him. But he let Naseekh in. Now he done let the animal king in. I'm surprised. And this man, it is what it is. But the Creator knew what we needed. And I'm saying this for a reason. The Most High knew that this day was coming. He knew what we needed. And he sent a brother like that for that particular purpose to get the job done. Not just that purpose, but a whole lot of other purposes to get the job done. And we're so pleased and grateful and thankful for brothers like yourself and also the brother Yahoo. You hear me, Yahoo? He should be in here somewhere. I don't know. He's probably just watching. But another good brother that the Most High, he knew we had a calling. He knew we had a needing. He sent us the individuals that we needed to get the job done. You know, these are our prayers being answered. So I'm thankful to the Creator for those things as well. I really am. There's a lot to it. So my wife made it to Philly safely. She caught the plane from Georgia to Philly. She made it safely. We made it here to Ohio safely on that long ride. So that's where we are now. Be it the Most High's will, we'll be back in Philadelphia soon, Creator willing. The other day, I told y'all briefly about the man whose car I backed into this man's car. I told y'all about that, and we fixed that matter. I ain't heard from the man yet for my change, but maybe he waiting until it's all over. I don't know. But now, I would say maybe about 3 or 4 days after that, I'm up at the mall, coming out of the mall parking lot, minding my business, still in that same car, driving. And as I go through the parking lot to exit, somebody runs real fast. This car just came out of nowhere on my left side. Whoa, real fast to my side door, right where I was driving at, and stopped right before he hit me. The same door that I hit on that man's car was the same door that this man almost hit on my car. And he stopped, and I turned and looked at him, and I kept driving. And all I could do was thank the Most High for it. Because he was coming real fast out of a parking spot, real fast. and he stopped. So that might have been the Most High saying to me that I did well by doing what I did with the gentleman who I hit. The Most High showed me mercy by avoiding somebody from hitting me in that same location just a few days later. So I'm thankful for that. I take all little things and make them big. You know, to me, they're big things. So I'm thankful for that as well. I'm thankful that Naseekh and his Isha made it to Chicago to go be with his grandmother. I think it's 80th. Well, that's for Naseekh to say, but for her birthday. You know, I'm very thankful that the Most High has allowed that to be, and that we would have somebody so close and to be so old, because a lot of people don't get to live that old today. But may the Most High be praised. All right. So I think I'm about done now. If there's anything else, I'll interrupt the lesson and say, oh yeah, I forgot something. Hold up. And then we'll get moving again. So may the Most High be praised. To the Rabbah. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over. Is there any other posts that we need to advertise, put up? If not, I'm going to turn the mic over to Naseekh to present us with his lesson for the to the Rabbah. Iman, you want to say something?
Yeah, sorry. I guess today is a day of interrupting and remembering. But I do want to say, I know for Naseekh, Amuna, and I, we are definitely thankful to Brother Asante, because before I left to leave, and before she left a few days after me. You know, the four of us, her, myself, Brother Asante, and Naseekh, walked the garden area, and you know, we were pointing out all the things that we needed to do in the garden to get back into our garden this year. And just thankful because, to be quite honest, last year it was me and Amuna and I really doing the bulk of the tilling, everything by hand, and it took a lot of work. So we're both thankful, you know, just us talking about it, having him, you know, walk through it and say, okay, so what, you know, kind of identifying everything we needed to do. And he was like, okay, when y'all come back, it's all gonna be done. Y'all gonna, like, you know, so I've been over here just excited because I'm been like on my pins and needles. I love the garden. It's a place I go for healing. And so I'm just excited to see what it's going to look like so that her and I can get back in there. And I know we have a couple of other sisters who are on the land now who want to come and join us in the garden. And I'm thankful because last year, her and I both prayed. You know, we kept talking about it. And we kept talking about how we pray into the Creator to send us more hands, because you know, a lot of people think, oh, gardening is so easy. You just put a seed in the ground and grow, pop, you know, and it's a lot of work. It's like, that's why there are gardeners and farmers who have that as their life, you know, job. And so when you have multiple things on your plate and that, you know, it takes a lot out of you. So I'm just grateful. I know her and I, let me not say just I, are grateful for the hands that the Most High is sending to help us to continue to prepare the land, to plant the seeds, and to even harvest the produce and the growth from, you know, in the garden to feed the people. And I just know that last year the garden did beautiful with just the two of us. And I know that this year and even further, the garden will do awesome, you know, just with the different ideas, and grateful for, you know, him even take the initiative. I said one thing and he was like, okay. And next thing I know, he done gathered the stuff that I was talking about. Because we have animals, you know, the sheep and the goat, and he gathered their stuff to put in the garden, and, you know, just doing things. And I'm like, okay, you know, we need this. This is because in my head, I'm like, okay, we're going to get this done. But then I look at my list of things to get done, and it ain't, you know, it's like at the bottom. So I'm just thankful that the Most High is seeing fit to bring more hands and bring more hearts to build the community, and in an efficient manner. And one of the most important things is food for our people. So I'm grateful for that. And like Zakaria said, she got her seeds ready, and he brought more seeds. And it's just like, you know, so much is happening. So told out to the Creator. And I, you know, I just pray for the growth of this garden this year. I believe it's going to be really beautiful. And even Naseekh came in was, well, he's actually mowed the garden before, cut the grass and stuff for us, but he came in, you know, lifting stuff and helping us to organize it. So I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, I'm excited about it. So Toda.
May the Most High be praised. Brother Zante?
Kane, so I just want to say, Toda, I really appreciate the kind words. And I also want to say something, and I really do appreciate it. All praises be unto the Most High, though. And what I'm going to say, it's in reference to what has been said already. But how you said Gabar, Sharon, she said something about, you said something about her going and picking up the child to come to the ball. And so, I just want to say something, to everybody that's listening, everybody that's here. The biggest and greatest thing that you can give to anyone is just yourself. You may not have finances. I don't make the most money. And you may not have the cars or the trucks or the finances to do certain things. But as long as you have life, you have health, you have strength, you have activity of your limbs, you have something to give. And so, I just want to use an analogy. There's an analogy that goes that, it's harder for a rich man to find the kingdom than a poor man. And, and from my understanding, the reason that is because a rich man, he can just say, you can say something that you need and he just say, okay, here, I'm gonna give you the money, go get it. But he doesn't have to necessarily give himself. He can just pay somebody else to go do whatever. If somebody say, I need my refrigerator moved, he can say, well, I'm just going to pay somebody else and do it, and just a couple of dollars here, and then that person goes and takes care of it. But the poor man will say, you know what, hey, I got you. You need some help, I'm gonna come and help you move it myself. And so I think that that's very powerful, and it just shows that what the Father is doing with us is very important. It is, this is something that He is doing because He has given us a heart to serve His people, and that's all it's about. So I strive to be that. I strive to be an example. Like I said, I don't have a lot of finances, but even the little that I do, I give. But the biggest thing that I try to instill in people is just the most invaluable thing that you can give to anyone is just yourself. That's it. As long as you are giving yourself, whether that's a ride, whether that's going to pick up, like the brother shared, that's what it's about, and that's what the Father and the Creator is looking for in this time. And He's bringing together the people that have that spirit. He's bringing us together because that's what His will is for His people, is for us to just serve each other, take care of each other, and honor Him in the truth and integrity and sincerity. And with that, I yield. But I just want to say to that for the words, the kind words.
May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah. May the Most High be praised. Is there anything else we need to post or anything else we need to get off our chests? Anything else we need to say, y'all? Go ahead, Naseekh.
I just wanted to say, it may be a typo too, because I'm pretty assuming that a Geberit knows the full saying, but I wanted to comment on the money is the root to all evil. You all remember it's the love of money is the root to all evil, because another scripture tells you that everything revolves around money. That's me paraphrasing. Can't think of the actual verbiage. But for the love of money, if that's your desire, if that's over the Most High, things like that, that's the root of all evil, because it opens the doors for so many different wickedness that comes in when you have that being over the Most High. So I wanted to bring that part out. She might have had a typo or whatnot, but I just wanted to bring it out for those that may be tuning in that may not know what it actually says, the scripture.
All right. Money answers all things. That's right. Let's get it. Money answers all things. That's right. I think people is the root of all evil. I heard something the other day. What was that I heard? Sometimes when you're thinking, you got to take a deep breath so that your mind comes back to you. You're able to free up your mind and you can think better. So I heard something the other day where it was this lecture talking about evil. And this man said, and I happen to agree with this man. He was a very wise, intelligent European fellow. Very wise, intelligent European fellow. He said, you know what? Evil doesn't exist. Do you know when evil was made? He said, evil is not a being. He said, what evil is, and it's very wise if you think about it. He said, evil is the acceptance. Evil is the absence of righteousness. That's what evil is. Whenever righteousness is taken away from a situation, then evil is there. And he's right. Whenever you stop to dedicate your existence to the Creator, you open yourself up for all types of things. He's right. I can't argue with him. Now, y'all meditate on that for a little bit. Let that play inside your spirit and your mind. You might not agree right away, but let it saturate inside your essence, because I didn't agree right away until I really focused on what was really being said. And then I had to submit that man was right. The absence of righteousness is what makes evil what it is. All right. Yes. Evil is the absence of righteousness. May the Most High be praised. All right, go get your pens, your papers, your notepads, your recording devices. Get ready, because we're getting ready to go on a journey, y'all. We're getting ready to go on a journey. We're getting ready to get this thing moving. Naseekh is about to bring it out. He's about to bring it out with righteous and perfect. Let's go. Naseekh, the floor is yours. Toda Rabbah.
Toda, Prince. Reshit, אני רוצה לתת כבוד ועולה יחווה אלוהי Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. First, I want to give honor to the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Then I want to also give honor to mentor of mine, Chief Prince Abdullah Belewa Hidekia, Chief Elder of mine, Maurice Shalim, and give honor to Prince, being a spiritual leader of Temple Kifarim and a spiritual leader of Beulah Land. And after the Most High, I want to give honor to my parents once again, because without them, I wouldn't be able to bring anything out. I wouldn't be able to learn what I learned to share with other people. I wouldn't be able to learn what I learned to be a better person myself. So I want to give honor to my aim and my and those before them. So today is righteous and perfect. I'm gonna try to move a little bit, because this is probably the longest session that we have had so far, I believe, on giving honor and praise to the Most High. But it was needed. I think it was needed, and I appreciate those of you that participated in it. So we're going to be in the book of Bayeeth. I give credit to my Isha for this lesson, because I was thinking in the beginning of the week, I was like, okay, what do I want to talk about? For those that know me know that my ministry is really man and woman. Bayeeth Mazan, right, is house of balance. And I think that for us to succeed, the house has to be balanced. You heard Prince say earlier, he said something about that man and that woman is on point with each other, unbreakable, unmovable by those outside of them. The chances is more likely for the children to carry out what was given most times, right? So righteous and perfect. Righteous and perfect is one of those words that in the so-called Black community and Christianity, even in Israel and outside of us too, people are afraid of that word, righteous and perfect. There's doctrines out there that teaches that no one is righteous, which we know what that stems from. I'll go into that. That's probably going to be the ending of the lesson. And then no one's perfect. And I challenge anyone with this statement. I'm going to make people will not like it maybe, but if no one's righteous and no one's perfect, then the Most High is a liar. If no one's righteous and no one's perfect, then this literature that we have, we need to throw away. The Tanakh, we need to put in the garbage and never go back to it again, because we all been bamboozled. But you have to understand what perfect really is. And even the perfect that's being spoken about in the Bible, once we realize what it is and righteousness, then it will help us go towards acting it out more. But it's not going to be many of us that do it. All right, so we're going to start in Bereshit chapter or Genesis chapter 6. And I have a different version that I'm reading outside of what we normally use. So if you all please, just one more week, if you can just use the translation that you have, the translation that you have, and just follow along. All right. I'm going to try to move through this because we don't have much time. All right. So Genesis chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 1. And it says, before we start, this is going into Noah, right? This is a story of Noah, or Noach in Hebrew, or Noach. And this is in a time where I like this. I like this story. I'm glad she has suggested I do it because I believe this is in the time that we're facing today. How the people are towards the Most High, and most of us don't even realize it and see it. But let's keep going. Verse 1. And it came to be when men began to increase on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men, that they were good, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. Now, I'm not going to go into the topic dealing with Elohim, the Elohim, the sons of Elohim, and the daughters of men. We could go into that another time. I'm not going to get into the stories in regards to that, the Nephilim and things like that. We're not going to get into that today. All right, but we are reading a little bit on it. Verse 3, and the Most High said, my spirit shall not strive with man forever in his going astray. He is flesh, and his days shall be 120 years. That's key. Keep that in mind. His days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of Elohim came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them, those were the mighty men who were of old, the men of name. Okay, I don't know what it's saying, you all's translation, but that's not the topic we're really dealing with today. And the Most High saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. How am I and why am I relating that to today? Many people, even the movies we all watch and the celebrities that people love and things of that nature, most of them get credit and praise to the Most High. They use another word, but most of them do it. They give praise. A lot of people think that they're living life properly because they, have a certain status, certain money, things are happening to them. We have been taught, and most people won't listen to you, by the way, if you are a righteous individual or a servant of the Most High. And I'm going to show you how the Most High looks at that. Most people won't listen to you if you're not having what they have or more. They equate righteousness, or they equate servitude of the Most High by what you are having. That's what they equate it as. It's not to say that that's not true on some level for certain people, but I believe it's only true for those who are really righteous. And we're going to go into that and learn about that. So it says that the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. How does that relate again? Because think about it. Think about the things we watch, the things we do, the speech that we have towards one another, right? Towards our leaders, towards our wives, towards our husbands. When we're talking to somebody else, right? We talk down on our own husbands, on our own wives, on our own everything. Like, it's constant flow. That's considered evil because it's not being righteous. That's what was just said, right, by Prince. Let's keep going. And the Most High was sorry that he had made man on the earth and was grieved in his heart. Right? The Most High was sorry that he had made man on the earth and was grieved in his heart. And the Most High said, I am going to wipe off man whom I have created from the face of the ground, both man and beast, creeping creature and birds of the heavens. For I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Most High. One man in this moment found favor, right? In this region, in this part of the earth, or earth in general, depending on what school of thought you go by. Verse 9 says, this is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with Elohim. So most of us teach, and again, when I say this doesn't go against what when Prince says that no one is perfect. You got to understand what perfect I'm talking about. Okay. The perfect I believe, and Prince could correct me if I'm wrong, when he says no one is perfect, is we're going to fall. We're going to make mistakes. We're not going to get everything right. Right. I bring up basketball a lot. There's no one that could hit every shot that they make. That would be considered perfect. Steph Curry hit like 106 in a row, but no one is perfect in that matter. You're going to fall. You're going to learn new things. You're going to learn things that, especially if you're willing to learn, that can help assist you. And if you take it, now you're going to change it, which means you were not doing it correctly, even if your spirit was right in that direction. Now, there is a such thing as perfect in mind, perfect in heart. We're going to get into that. But this word perfect is tam or tamim in Hebrew. It means balanced, innocent, complete. So a lot of times we hear people speak on the elders. The scriptures tell us to go to the elders, seek the elders. I was talking to my Sapta, my grandmother, on yesterday, and she was talking to my Isha, and she was speaking on how a lot of the youth, they remove the advice and things of that nature from the elders. And I was explaining to her how our community we operate in dealing with the reverence of our elders. They walk in, we get our butt up, things of that nature. And normally when you hit a certain age, you begin to become more complete. You're growing. When you plant something that has stages to grow. So this Tom or this Tamim, when it's normally attached to certain men in the scripture, they have went through a certain season. They have built themselves up in the Most High and in the laws of the Most High. So it's complete, it's balanced, it's innocent. That's what I teach. And then when you look it up, it says complete, whole, sound, right? We always talk about doctrine, but you may have heard of sound doctrine. Just having doctrine does not mean it's correct. You have people that are studied in Christianity, very studied, more studied than some of us in Israel. You have people in Israel that is extremely studied. You might have 2 or 3 individuals that's completely studied, but they have differences of thoughts in the same subject, right? So they have their doctrines, but it doesn't mean that it's sound. It's a lot of things that helps you to become sound, right? So this Tom and perfect they're balanced in their approach. They're innocent, meaning they are subjecting themselves to the laws of the Most High in completeness. Okay, so that's this perfect that's being talked about with Noah or Noah. It's obedience. Obedience is in that, right? Let's keep going. Then it says, and Noah brought forth 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japhet, right? Or Japhet. And the earth was corrupt before Elohim, and the earth was filled with violence. We see that today, correct? And the Most High, Elohim, looked upon the earth and saw that it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted. So likely, all flesh have corrupted their way on the earth. And Elohim said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and see, I am going to destroy them from the earth. Now, I'm about to take us somewhere. We're going to go back to, we're going to go one chapter back to the last verse, chapter 5, right? Chapter 5, the last verse says, and it says, and Noah was 500 years old. And Noah brought forth Shem, Ham, and Japheth, right? So the scripture sometimes it gives you a foreshadow when it's letting you know something that's going on. In this last chapter, it's telling you that he's 500 years old. So I want you to remember that number. Doesn't mean he was actually 500 on a dot, but let's just say he was. He was 500 years old. You go back to chapter 6, verse 13, it says, Elohim looked upon the earth and saw it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. When you go back up to verse 10, it tells you that he had 3 sons. The first 8 or 9 verses is telling you what's going on with man at that point. We're going to go down and we're going to see a certain age. He's going to hop up to about 600 years old. About 600 years old. Why am I using that as an example? During this time, Noah was warning and preaching to the people. The scripture in this context here, in this book, doesn't say he was doing that. But when you look at the context of his age, and then you look at the context of when it said, where are we at? When it said that in verse 3, my spirit shall not strive with man forever in his going astray. He is flesh, and his days shall be 120 years. That 120 years was that moment in time where while he was being obedient, while he was being perfect, complete, obedient, because as we go down and we're going to see the instructions that was given to him and his family. He was still warning the people. How many of us today in this walk, we try to warn our people on the things that they may be doing incorrectly? They may be reading into improperly. They may have been pushed in a direction of understanding due to them not having the tools, right? Or the proper teaching on what is supposed to be done. That's the same thing that's happening now. Noah is a person that was righteous according to the Most High and perfect. And if you are righteous and you are perfect in the sense of the Hebraic thought, then you care about the people and you want to warn them. You want to assist them. You want to help them. You want to get them on point of the understanding that's needed to succeed or to please the Most High. Even though he's doing that, that is what Noah is doing at this point. That is my understanding. I would love to hear you all's thoughts once we finish with this chapter. Let's keep going. So back to verse 9 again. Let's get it back to verse 9. It says, this is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with Elohim, and he brought forth 3 sons. So I had to go back up so you can see when it ended in chapter 5, it painted a picture. The children was already born. But when you go back to verse 6 to verse 13, it would seem as though they're born after at this point. Okay, I just wanted to paint that picture. Let's keep going. He then says in verse 14, make yourself an ark of gopher wood, make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and outside with the covering. Verse 15, and this is how you are to make it. The length of the ark is 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. Make a window for the ark and complete it to a cubit from above, and set the door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. And see, I myself, I am bringing flood waters on the earth to destroy all flesh, in which is the breath of life from under the heavens. All that is on the earth is to die. And I shall establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, and you and your sons and your wife, and that's it, right? No, it says, and your sons' wives with you. How many of y'all knew that the sons had wives as well?
Mhm.
All these movies we've been watching, all these teachings that we get in Christianity, right? and even in our community, I don't even know if everybody knows in our community that they actually had wives. Okay. Also, when you look at what is speaking of the dimensions and stuff of this boat, right? Of this ark, a lot of us can't really envision how big it is. Then you got to see how many people he had to help create this boat. So it was a time, it was a lot of time building this boat. They have a boat or a replica of this boat. I forgot what state. And I think I talked to Prince or Princess, or if I haven't, I want to talk to them about it. Maybe one day us visiting. For those of us that don't really have an understanding on how, look at my Ishashi over there jumping, have a true understanding of how big this is. This ark was huge. And they did a replica trying to mimic how big it really was. Now you're talking about Noah, and you're talking about his 3 sons building the boat, building the ark. That takes time, right? And in that process, or before that process, and a little bit during it, he was letting the people know. Scriptures don't say that, but if you look at it and you analyze what's being said and you analyze the time, that 120 years is not speaking of that's the time that we're supposed to live. If that has been taught, that's a school of thought, and I won't knock it. But when you go past this story, you see that our patriarchs lived past 120. And that was after this. So the context is talking about after this flood that's going to come, after 120 years, it's a wrap. So when we keep going down, we're about to see how old Noah was. Let's keep reading. Verse 18. And I shall establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you and your sons, and your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of all the living of all flesh, 2 of each you are to bring in the ark to keep them alive with you, male and female. Okay, so this chapter, when we continue reading the rest of these 3 verses, this is where you get the doctrine of 2.
Right.
It's some feedback, you all. There we go. This is the part when you get the doctrine that's teaching that there's only 2 animals, right? Or 2, right? That's really talking about unclean and clean. But we're going to go into that in the next chapter. The 2, when it says 2 of each, it's talking about 2 of each from the unclean and the clean. The unclean and the clean is the 2 of each. We're going to keep reading to find it out. Then it says male and female. So it has to be male and female from each of those, unclean and clean. Of the birds after their kind, and of the cattle after their kind, and of all creeping creatures of the ground after their kind. 2 of each are to come to you to keep them alive. As for you, take all food that is eaten and gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. And Noah did according to all that the Most High commanded, so he did. So we're having an example as to what's making these individuals perfect. It's not the thoughts of other people. That's not what's making them perfect. The perfection is being obedient to the Most High. That's the perfection. That's the righteousness, is going the right way in what was presented by the Most High. And the perfection is understanding completeness, is having integrity, is being balanced, right? These things is assisting in the perfection, but it's not saying that you're going to do something all the time and succeed in it. That's not what it's saying. Okay. Let's keep going. All right. So what I also wanted to say was when it's talk, how did Noah understand what was clean and unclean? The Most High is telling him to separate it, and we're going to see that in the next chapter, to separate it. And how does he understand what's clean and unclean? Because these laws was present. When the laws came into play with Moshe, we got to remember that these were a people that was in captivity, learning the ways of those that they were amongst. So they had to be informed on what was clean and unclean. Just like today, a lot of us that's coming into this understanding of what righteousness is, coming into the understanding of how the Most High wants us to come before Him perfect. We're going to read about that too. We learn what we should be taking in. We will learn what we should not be taking in. And we got to remove what has been taught before this. That's the same thing there. So Noach, they knew about this. They knew what was unclean and clean. But let's take any questions because we're going to go more into that. Any comments? Any questions so far? Any comments? Any questions so far? It says, Cain, unclean animals do have a job in the Most High's ecosystem. We just can't eat them. That's true. I imagine that even building an enormous ark was a warning in itself, even if it were that Noah did not say a word. But think folks back then were just as nosy and went to inquire of him and the ark. Okay. I want you all to remember what I just presented. So when in Genesis 6, in Genesis 7, that's when it's going to go into the unclean and the clean. It's going to go into more detail. But this portion in verse 6, what I was trying to explain, I don't know if everyone caught it, but what I was explaining is the reason the doctrine is talking about tools is because they did not go into detail with chapter 7. So the tools is dealing with the unclean and the clean. That's what the tool is talking about in verse 19. I'll explain it more in chapter 7. All right. Lastly, in verse 22, when it says, and Noah did according to all that Elohim commanded him, so he did. My question is, if Noah did this, why don't we believe that people can do it today? Why don't we believe that there are men and or women today doing this? When we see it throughout the whole scripture, our whole book, we see it, but today we don't think it's possible. Why do we feel that no one can? It is because of what we are doing on the side or have done ourselves. It's because of a person's past. It's because of them in their present works and actions, even when we see their consistency of change. And it makes us uncomfortable. So since it makes us uncomfortable, nobody can do it. Nobody is doing it today. Since it makes us uncomfortable to believe that somebody else is doing it. If we don't believe that they can, then we need to throw the book away. If we don't believe that it's people that are righteous and or what the Most High called Tamim back then that is not happening today, we need to throw the book away. It's giving us a reason to not go full-fledged in serving the Most High. That's the reason. And some of us have adopted that teaching and those thought processes in our lives because it's convenient as well. Now let's go to chapter 7. I don't see any more questions because I need you all to see what I'm saying. I need you all to understand what 6 and 20 was saying. 6 and 19 was saying. Chapter 7 is going to go into understanding the pairs. The pairs is what chapter 7 is going to go into. The 7 and the 2. The 7 clean and the 2 unclean. Of male and female in the 7 clean, and male and female in the unclean. 7, male and female, that's 1. That's the clean I was talking about. And then the unclean male and female, that's the unclean. So the 2 in Genesis 6 and 20 is talking about the unclean and the clean. Verse 2 of chapter 7, it goes into breaking down those 2 And those are the pairs of the male and the female. So there's no more question. Let's keep going. And all of this is going to make sense while I'm bringing this out, you all. We have to go through it. Verse 1 says, and the Most High said to Noah, come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. Some people will teach that the Most High is the only one that's righteous. Right? For my righteousness' sake, the scriptures will say, the righteousness, the Most High gave it to us. The Most High told us and showed us how to be righteous. So when the scripture is telling and saying someone is righteous, it's because they are righteous. They are coming before the Most High righteous through the teachings that they understand from what the Most High has given those before them or given them directly. It says, come into the ark, and you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. Wait a minute. You are righteous before me, but are you righteous before the people? Do the people think you're righteous? He says, you come before me righteous. The people are not going to think that you're righteous because you're doing something that is foreign to them. They're not going to understand what true righteousness is because they don't understand the commandments of the Most High. But they're going to find every reason to prove, right, that you're not. Based upon what they think you should do. But it doesn't say that you came before the people righteous. It says you came before me righteous, because you got to come before the Most High righteous before you can even come before the people righteous. Because people can go in front of people and act righteous, but they're not being righteous before the Most High. So in turn, they're not really righteous. You have to come before the Most High righteous. And to come before the Most High righteous, you got to do what he deemed is right. Now, verse 2, it goes into the pairs. Of all the clean beasts, take with you 7 pairs, a male and his female, that is dealing with the clean. And of the beasts that are unclean, 2, male and female, that's dealing with the unclean. So the subjects from 6 and 20 or 18 is clean and unclean. But in 7 and 2, it goes with pairs of that male and female in that clean section of 7, and in that male and female of unclean in the unclean section 2. And of birds that having 7 pairs, male and female, to keep offspring alive on the face of all the earth. For after 7 more days, I am sending rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and shall wipe from the face of the earth all that stand that I created. And Noah did according to all that the Most High commanded him. The people around you do not dictate if you're righteous or not. The people around you do not dictate if you're righteous or not. Your righteous community do if they're doing what thus says the Most High. So I want to make sure I say that correctly before it's a clickbait or something like that. I'm not saying that community structure and leadership is not needed because that'll go against what I've been teaching this whole time. But what I'm saying is those that are outside of righteousness do not dictate if you are doing what according to the Most High. They don't dictate it if they're not even operating within what the Most High is telling you to do. And what the Most High is telling you to do is already written out in the literature. It's written out contextually, historically, consistently, linguistically. All of that is needed, which is why you need leadership. Righteous ones. Now Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters were on the earth. The flood waters is the beginning of that water process to when it's about to flood. At this point, it's not flooded yet. So he's 600. Remember, when Ham, Shem, Yafat was present, he's 500. I don't believe these are actual the ages. I think this is the range, which goes to that 120 years. Verse 7, and Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives went into the ark because of the waters of the flood, and of the clean beasts, and of the beasts that are unclean, and of birds, and of all that creep on the earth. 2 by 2 they went into the ark to Noah, male and female. So this is the confusion that's been pushed on with the doctrine, not sound doctrine, but the doctrine. They've been paying attention to 7 and 9, Genesis chapter 7 and 9, and Genesis chapter 6 and 18 or 20. That's where the two come from, but they're not looking at the whole context. So he did according to what Elohim had commanded him. And it came to be after 7 days that the waters of the flood were on the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second new moon, the 17th day of the new moon, on that day, all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the waters of the heavens were open. So water is coming from above, and water are shooting up through the ground everywhere to create this flood. So when you go back up to this point in verse 6, this shows that it wasn't flooded yet. I don't know how some of you all's translations is reading, but it's really important to look at that. That's talking about the start of it. It started in his 600 year. Okay. Verse 13. Let me see where I'm at. All right. Let's see one. Verse 13. On that day, same day, Noah and Shem and Ham and Japhet, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his son with them went into the ark. They and every life form after its kind, and every beast after its kind, and every creeping creature that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, and every bird of every sort. Right? And what's interesting in Genesis, or better sheet 7:14, which is consistent throughout the text, are you noticing how it's saying after its kind, after its kind, after its kind? And it's speaking of, right, in this particular subject, we're talking about the beasts, right? The birds and all those different things. But the Most High is consistent with order. We see this with clothing not being mixed match. We see this with certain people that you're supposed to be with. We see this all across the board. So we need to focus on what's after our kind. And if I take that and move it a little closer to what we understand today, the same thing can go with who you're supposed to be around. You should be around individuals that have a righteous order, that their goal and mindset is to be righteous, not afraid of righteousness, not afraid of perfecting what it is the Most High has told us to do, and not afraid of perfect. Verse 15, and they went into the ark to Noah 2 by 2 of all flesh, in which he is the breath of life. And those going in, male and female of all flesh, went in as Elohim had commanded him. And the Most High shut him in. And the flood was on the earth 40 days, and the waters increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. And the waters were mighty and greatly increased on the earth. And the ark moved about on the surface of the waters. And the waters were exceedingly mighty on the earth, and all the high mountains under all the heavens were covered. The waters became mighty, 15 cubits upward, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh died. The creeper creature on the earth, birds and cattle, and beasts and every swarming creature that swarms on the earth and all mankind. I want to stop there. I'm stopping there because it's like, okay, why are you reading this part? Why is this important? And how does this relate to what's the message that you're trying to put out or that you are putting out? The Most High had to remove everything in order to reestablish righteous order. Sometimes we got to remove everything that is around us that is not assisting in righteousness. Because if we don't, we will get left behind. And the goal that was put in place for us as Israel, for our families, things of that nature. That's why it's important to watch who we're letting our children go around, who we're allowing our wives to go around, even who we are allowing our brothers to go around. Hey, brother, I don't think you need to go there. You don't need to do this. If you got to hang out with one of your cousins that you know in the world that's doing crazy, invite them in a space that's not going out into this world, that's going to put you in a position to where you either, okay, you might not do anything wrong, but you might get in a position to where something might happen to you. I got a brother that he got killed last year for being somewhere, my opinion, that he wasn't supposed to be, and it did not have to happen. Those of us that are claiming and pressing towards righteousness and doing it, we can't do the same things that we've been doing because you're important. Everyone here that is involved in this walk, that is going towards righteousness and serving the Most High, you're important. So you cannot do the same things that you did. Even if you desire it in some capacity, you got to let it go. You have to remove it. Everything has to die. Everything. Not telling you to get rid of your family and nothing like that. You got to be the example for your family. And you got to stand firm on what you know is righteous. Because everyone is doing what they have been taught, what they have gathered on their own, what they believe to be true. But the righteous individuals, they know what is true. And they, at least at the bare minimum, if they don't have all this down, they know how to serve the Most High correctly. And when serving the Most High correctly, you have to remove yourself from things that will cause you not to serve the Most High correctly. What Prince say earlier? That evil is the absence of righteousness. Am I saying that correct? Did he say that? Prince, that's how you said it?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh. So that we got to do that. And I know it's hard. But the reason it's hard is because you're not surrounding yourself around other people, a community, a righteous community. It's going to seem like we're beating a dead horse with that. That's the only way that we are going to do it correctly, man. Let's keep going. Verse 22, chapter 7. All in whose nostrils was the breath of the spirit of life. All that was on the dry land died. So he wiped off all that stand, which were on the face of the ground, both man and beast, creeping creature and bird of the heavens, and they were wiped off from the earth, and only Noah was left, and those with him on the ark. What does that tell y'all? What does that really tell us? We read this story all the time. Many of us know this story like the back of our hand, kind of. It's just a story to us. But what does it tell you out of all these people that surround you? It's that remnant that I be speaking of, you all. This is Noah. Everyone is gone. And it was not a lot that was truly obedient to the Most High. Everyone here that's listening right now, that's on this YouTube and Facebook, you have to commit to yourself and to the Most High that you want to be obedient. Whatever level that you're on, I say that because I understand that we're all not on the same level. But if you have the desire, you're going to get with somebody that's further than you so you could get your level up. But whatever level that you're on, the most important thing is to be obedient to the T from the knowledge that you have. Because there were not a lot of true obedient individuals of Yah. I took a screenshot. Let me read to y'all this screenshot I had on this part right here, because it says Noah, let's say verse 23, and only Noah was left, and those with him in the ark. Only Noah and those that was with him. Let me read to you all this screenshot really quickly. Somebody posted this, and I got to do more history on it. Maybe Prince may have a thought to it. But this post, some of y'all might be friends with this individual. It says there were 21 kings of Yehuda, one queen, Athaliah. There were 19 kings of the northern kingdom. Out of 41 rulers in both, only 5 of them served the Most High. The rest of them erred. If this statement is true, because I got to go and do my count on these rulers, but if this statement is true, it further solidifies what Prince been trying to bring out, and those that come on this platform and present as well, that it's only a remnant of a remnant. We talking about 41 rulers. If this is true, 41 rulers and only 5 of them served the Most High properly. I wouldn't say that's a mistake, though. I wouldn't say that's wrong. I can see that. I can understand that. Verse 24, and the waters were mighty on the earth 150 days. Any questions, any comments before we go to the next chapter? And it's 1 o'clock right now, you all's time. Any questions, any comments, any thoughts? Khan, which means yes for those that's listening that may not know Hebrew, and likely to offer sacrifice unto Abinu, which is my father, our father, since Noah already knew and practiced the law, the set apart times of Abba were upheld by him and his family. Certain key moments of the flood were set. Todah. My Isha says, if we can perfect the craft, we can certainly push to serve our Creator in completeness. Teach it Ahubi. Ahubi is my love, you all. Geber Sharon says, imagine how they treated them. I would have walked over there and asked if they needed help, because obviously they knew something I didn't. I want to comment on that part. We're seeing that today. And the thing is, it is ignorant arrogance. I don't know if that's the thing. I just made it up. It is ignorant arrogance. And the reason it's ignorant arrogance just means you don't know. And you're arrogant when you think you know. It's ignorant arrogance because some of us that do know what we know, we try to bring it. They're like, oh, I'm just let them live their life. Let's keep doing what we're doing. This is the same thing that happened in Noah's time or Noah's time. The same thing. But when we realize that it's only a remnant of a remnant, I always say that. When we really realize that that's going to truly serve, just continue to push the message like you've been pushing it. But I was told one day by Chief Prince Abdullah that how did he word it? He said, you don't want to be brokenhearted. A lot of us love our people so much. And you have to understand through the literature in the past, it's the same today. The same that it was then is the same today. So we got to have that, understand that knowledge and understand that probability that the people are going to be doing the same thing so that we won't be heartbroken. And it causes us to pull away from serving the people ourselves, pulling away from wanting to deal with the people ourselves. Keep dealing with them, because I firmly believe that Noah was actually sharing that message while he was obeying the Most High, putting that together over that 120 years. It says, Khan, Moa Sharon, same. How can I be of assistance? Yeah, you see somebody building this big old ark. It's like, okay, why are you doing this? What's going on? You would think. Princess Medaya said, facts, sisters, because I'm going with y'all. Like we see people building different in a positive way and go the opposite way. Nope, let me see what they're doing, because for real, sometimes we need to be nosy. Okay. Cain, come out from among them and be separate. Okay. Stand firm in your righteousness. And I want to respond on Ab real quick. In a total agreement when he said, Cain, come out from among them and be separate. And I believe, because he's not present to speak, that them are those who are not righteous. Don't be separate from those that are righteous, because we need each other. If you move it along, it's going to be extremely hard. Trust me. Until I moved out in Georgia. Wow, just had lost the state. Georgia, it was tough in this walk for me for like the first the next 5 years after my first 3 years. It was tough because I was trying to go down a more cultural route, and I was seeing the text different than the people that was before me. I started off at IOG, Israel of God, in Chicago, right? That's why I started the first 3 years, but I started seeing the text differently. I started seeing it more so from cultural understanding in order to be what we needed to be. Jeremiah 29, I really studied on that, and I'm like, okay, we're not doing that. This is why we're failing. And when I started presenting this stuff, people started shunning me in a sense. They weren't really trying to be cool or things like that because I started moving a certain type of way. But it wasn't until I came down where I met here in Beulah, or Georgia, and coming down here and coming and transitioning into Beulah, where I saw the example that we're seeing in the scripture. I lie to you not. And it isn't to say, I know we be talking like it's all heaven and all that other stuff. If we have differences, the difference with differences, or if you have something we deal with it then. That's what Torah tells you to do. You don't bottle it up. And now you don't like this person to have a disdain. You try to do your best to go right then and there. We see these things. We see it played out. A lot of us just read this book, and then we go with our daily lives, still being a part of the world around us. And we're wondering why we're still failing. Because we're not living out this our literature, our customs, our culture. We're not. And that's why in Christianity we see so many failures, because they're taking on the book, but they're not living it out as far as customary culture. They're not. And that's why it's a lot of people failing. They're trying. I'm not knocking any of them. It's a lot. I know some Christians that more righteous than some of us by far, according to what they know. All right. But on a large scale, Christianity is failing in regards to homes. All right, let's go with the next questions. We would have been in that boat. That's right. I'm proclaiming it respectfully, because who trying to be set apart? Us. That was my Isha. Moaz Zakaria said, Khan, yes, princess. Like when Sis Sharon was nosy earlier this week and found that free spot in Atlanta, and she spread the word. That's the type of nosy we need. Yes, get that information, give it back to the people. A lot of us like to hold on to information and to stay separate. We don't want to tell nobody else because we're afraid that person becoming better than us in that subject. When all it is just building us to grow better. With the other communities, the Jewish people, me and Prince talk about them a lot. The what's the other group? Amish, the Koreans. They move a certain way. We can get there, and we will surpass them if we do it properly, because a lot of them learned from our ways back in old. All right. We have to perfect and righteous, and he will seek you to bring you unto him and others like you. That's true. That's true. Oh, we got a lot coming in. Goodness gracious. Let's read them all, though. Try to get through the rest of this lesson, though, before, too. What's the next one? Princess, you still doing it? I don't know. Okay. Well said, Bani, which is my son in Hebrew. Ignorant arrogance. I don't know if that's a thing. I just made it up. Sadly, many are bold and clueless. That's true. We have to be humble and know when to sometimes express that knowledge that we have. That's another topic. But let's keep going. A lot of people don't like themselves, so how can they show love to others? That's a fact. That's a fact. A lot of us have to read up on this stuff, get on the people that can help us, things of that nature. But we gotta want to do it. We gotta want to love ourselves. Keynes, I cannot to see you says, do you think that some in Noah's day helped to build the physical ark but refused to believe Noah's message? That's interesting. Zakana Cecilia always bringing some, Prince. Ain't that what you say? That's interesting. Take. Because the scripture don't tell us every instance of what's actually happening in the midst of that subject that we're studying on. I can see that maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say yay or nay, but that's an interesting take that people may have helped. Hey, I help you, but I ain't about to do that. I don't want to be a part of it. I want to see you prosper, but I don't really want that. Ain't my thing.
Just like we have people help around the land, we pay people to come things, then they gone.
Yeah.
Noah, thing with the building of the ark, he probably hired carpenters and he directed everything. Could have been.
Okay.
It's a lot of work.
Good take, Zakana. Let's keep going. Who's the next one? Was that it? Is that all? Zehu. All right. Let's keep going. We got it's 105 you all's time. So we're on 7. We got a few more things to go through. So I'm trying to get us through it. Actually, we're on 8 now. I think it was another question though. Didn't somebody ask the question about 40 days?
Okay, and my sister wife did, but then my Isha answered it.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Toda Prince. Always there. All right, let's keep going because I do want to get to the meat of what I'm really trying to say with this, you all. I really want to get to the meat of it. So we're in chapter 8 now. Okay. And Elohim remembered Noah, verse 1, and all the beasts and all the cattle that were with him in the ark. And Elohim made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. And the fountains, and for those that's wondering why we read through this, I want to stop and say this because we may have some new people listening in. Reading through helps with context and understanding. Jumping around, I won't say there's nothing fully wrong with that. It can become something wrong with that if you are not teaching it properly in its context, in its historical view, and things of that nature. So me, myself, Prince, we like to go through it with you all, but we're going to try to get there. I just wanted to explain that if you're just tuning in for the first time. All right. Verse 3, verse 2, and the fountains of the deep and the windows of the heavens were stopped, and the rain from the heavens was withheld. Verse 3, and the waters receded steadily from the earth, and at the end of the 150 days, the waters diminished. And in the 7th new moon, the 17th day of the new moon, the ark rested on the mountain of Ararat. Ararat, I might be saying it wrong. And the waters decreased steadily until the 10th new moon, and the 10th new moon on the first day of the new moon, and the tops of the mountains became visible. And it came to be at the end of the 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he sent out a raven, which kept going out and turning back until the waters had dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove from him to see if the waters had receded from the face of the ground. A lot of you are familiar with this story. We're just reading through. Matter of fact, we probably can drop down a little bit. Let's keep reading. And it came to be at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark, which he had made, and sent the raven. We read that part, verse 9. But the dove found no resting place for his feet and returned into the ark to him, for his waters were on the face of all the earth. So he put out his hand and took it and pulled it into the ark to himself. And he waited yet another 7 days, and again he sent the dove out from the ark. And the dove came to him in the evening, and see, a freshly plucked olive leaf was in its mouth. And Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth. And he waited yet another 7 days, and sent out the dove, which did not return to him again. And it came to be in the 601st year, right? So it's still in that 600 time. That's why I really I don't believe it's an actual number, but it is around the time, right, of his 600th year. And it says, and Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked and saw the surface of the ground was dry. And in the second new moon, on the 27th day of the new moon, the earth was dry. And Elohim spoke to Noah, saying, go out to the ark, you and your wife, and your sons' wives with you. Again, the sons have wives, people. Don't believe what's being taught. Bring out with you every life form of all flesh that is with you, of birds and cattle and all creeping creatures, the creeping creatures on the earth, and let them teem on the earth and bear and increase on the earth. So Noah went out, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him. Every beast, every creeping creature, every bird, whatever creeps on the earth according to their kinds, went out on the earth. Watch this. I read all that for a reason. At this point, you see that they come in, they're seeing this land. They were on the ark for so many days. Watch the first thing that Noah does. Shout out to Beauty Land. Shout out to Prince. And Noah built a slaughter place to the Most High. I'm not saying that's what Prince did, but I'm going to let y'all know what I'm talking about. And took of every clean beast and of every clean bird. Slick eye, you all. And offered ascending offerings of the slaughter place. And the Most High smelled a soothing fragrance, right? So the Most High was pleased, you all, with what he did. Watch this. And the Most High said in his heart, never again shall I curse the ground because of man, although the inclination of man's heart is evil from his youth, and never again strike all living creatures as I have done. As long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Now watch what I'm trying to bring out. Noah was obedient. He was perfect. He was righteous. That's what it tells us, right? He was perfect. He was righteous. He was doing everything that he was told by the Most High. He was keeping the commandments of the Most High. He knew what clean and unclean was before the law came out to the people of Israel, due to them being in captivity and learning the ways of the people around them. So they needed to learn what it was, right? Not saying everybody didn't know, maybe a small amount, but the most of the people needed that. So he even did that portion. The very first thing he did when he came to that land, he did a form or made dedication to the Most High. The very first thing when he hit the land, that's what he did. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about customs, when I'm talking about culture. This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying we're missing certain elements. He's reverencing the Most High in a sense to where he's dedicating something towards the Most High for bringing him somewhere. And he's showing that reverence. These are certain things that we're missing. And maybe what I'm saying right now is making sense, or maybe it's not. You will have to go back to older teachings that I put out or that Prince put out to see where I'm really going with. But I'm just trying to stay in context here. All right, with that, let's read 21 one more time. It says, and the Most High smelled the smooth and fragrance, right? So he was pleased. And the Most High said in his heart, never again shall I curse the ground because of man, although the inclination of man's heart is evil from his youth, and never again strike all living creatures as I have done. So I want to, why is it evil from his youth? It's not saying that a baby is evil when it's born. That's not what it's saying. Right? But why is the inclination of the heart evil from the youth? Most times it's due to the lack of righteous teaching and staying on it and being intentional. So that evilness that this youth is gaining is due to who they're around. Remember earlier when we was talking about the school, Goshen Hebrew Academy at Temple Kivarim, right? Taking our children outside of schools that have ideologies and moral compasses that's different than you. So their biggest teacher is literally outside the home because they're with other people more than they're with you at the home if you're working other jobs. So that evil that's being put within their mind, not heart, within their mind, is what they're learning. They're learning the evil ways of those outside of the Most High. And we can change that due to doing what the Most High has put in place. Jeremiah 29, even starting with the Torah on how we're supposed to move. That evil can go. I remember Prince said he came down when he came down to bless our Ames memory. When he came down, he did the service. When he saw the young men and he met all the children, the siblings of my Isha, he was saying he commended Ab and of course Aim, bless her memory, on their temperament, on their what did you say, Prince? On their it wasn't just temperament, it was just their spirit, on their spirit, right? And they gained that spirit due to the upbringing. The upbringing. My Isha and that upbringing was definitely different than most people that most of y'all that's watching now know. It was more in alignment from a standpoint of staying separate from unrighteousness that that is a part of this literature that comes with our people. And that's why their spirit, that's why that spirit that Prince saw when he first met them, all of them, it was due to that upbringing. So when it's talking about the inclination of a man's heart is evil from his youth, it is evil more so because of what is the environment of that youth. What's being allowed? What are parents allowing to happen? Are they really implementing this Torah on their children? Literally, if they're not, then that evil is creeping in. That disobedience is creeping in. That not honoring elders is creeping in. That talking back to your mother or father is creeping in. All of that is evil. Why? Because it's against commandments that's given to the Most High and or commandments that's given in your home by your parents. It's evil. We look at evil and we're like, oh, well, I'm not evil. We think evil is just like something that you just killed somebody or something like that. No, evil is going against righteousness. All right. Any questions before we go to the last chapter in this story? But we do have a couple of places to go after that. Any questions? Any comments? We are almost done, you all. Any questions? Any comments? Absolutely. That helps maintain proper context. I'm assuming Ab is responding on the reading as much as I'm reading. All right, let's keep going. So what I want to do in chapter 9, and it's the reason I'm going to chapter 9, we're going to start at verse 8. We're only going to read 8 through 17. All right, 8. It says, and Elohim spoke to Noach and his sons with him, saying, and I see, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you. This is very important what I'm about to present. And with every living being that is with you, and of the birds, and of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, of all that go out of the ark, every beast of the earth. And I shall establish my covenant with you, and never again is all flesh cut off by the waters of the flood, and never again is there a flood to destroy the earth. Why? Because of you. And Elohim said, this is the sign of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living being that is with you for all generations to come. I shall set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be for the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. And it shall be when I bring a cloud over the earth that the rainbow shall be seen in the cloud. And I shall remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living being of all flesh, because of who? Because of you, and never again let the waters become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the rainbow shall be in the cloud, and all shall see it, to remember the everlasting covenant between Elohim and every living being of all flesh that is on the earth. And Elohim said to Noah, this is the sign of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh is on the earth. Okay, so why did this happen? This is because of the righteousness and the perfection of Noah. This is because he was Tom in Hebrew, Tamim. He had integrity. He was complete. He was balanced. He was sound. He was willing to be obedient completely and not making excuses, did not just try to challenge anything that the Most High has put in before him. Because what the Most High has put before him is before us in the books that we have. The people of the earth is saved due to what this man did. This example of a man that was perfect and righteous. Perfect and righteous. We got to get away from being afraid of perfect and righteous. It was due to his obedience and his love. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a couple places. It's 1:20 right now. I got a little bit of time, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Is there any questions or comments concerning this story of Noah or Noach? We have a couple more places to go to kind of establish the point I want to make with righteous and perfect. But is there any questions or comments?
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to bring out. I always love when I read and the Most High gives you that the sign, and I always know that the sign is the bow, the rainbow. And I don't know. I think Naseekh Shama and Yasmin remember, but when we walked out of the funeral home after cleaning and wrapping their aim, it was drizzling that day, and all of us walked out together. All of us, my daughters, grandmom, and then their aunts. And when we walked out together, this big rainbow was right there. And every time I see a rainbow, after something, especially when you're doing something that you are doing your best with the best intentions for the creator, I look at that as an acceptance. When we all looked up and we saw the rainbow, we was like, there's a rainbow, and I don't know what everybody thought. I know what, but in my heart, I was like, okay, I was like in my heart saying Todah to the creator, because to me that represented that he was pleased with what we had all done together. And it also represented that his covenant is continuously there. Like those signs to me, I look at those, and when I see him, I take it seriously, because I'm like, what was I just doing prior to seeing that rainbow? And so I just really think like that's something that's where that perfection and righteousness to yearn to be that, because those signs are showing you that the Most High is with you. The Most High is watching you. You know what I mean? He's consistently, as he said, and he gave us his word. And as long as we do what, he has put in us to do, he's going to show us those signs, and he's going to forever, allow that rainbow to be the sign of his covenant, to be the sign of his pleasing, so I'm thankful, for that sign, because it's something that, it's like an approval. It's like a, yes, you did it. Yes, I'm proud of you, like what your parents would say. And so that's when I see the rainbow. We've seen it on the land after we did something, and we were like, oh, wow, that to us was like, oh, the Most High is pleased with us. So I think we should yearn to get that approval, that sign from him, that like what your mom and dad would say, here's a sticker, or a teacher would give you a sticker for the great job you did today, but it all resonates the same. And so I'm thankful that the Most High continues to show us his sign. So Todah for bringing that out today.
Todah. I remember when we had, I forgot what appointed time it was.
Pesach,
right? It was 2 rainbows. That was the first time I think all of us saw a double rainbow from beginning to end. Most people just see the little half rainbow and only one, but on Beulah land, we saw 2 rainbows going together from beginning to end. It was amazing. All right, you all. So hopefully you all been taking notes. I'm not going to go through everything like I want, but I am going to tell you where I was going to take us, because I do want to read 2 portions really quick. So in Job 1, it talks about Job being perfect. Okay. It talks about Job being perfect. Some scholars will utilize his complaining to make him not be that. And what it is we're taught not to question the Most High. We're taught not to talk to the Most High. We're taught not to challenge the Most High with his word. We're taught all these things, especially in Christianity. We're taught this. But then when we actually look at all our righteous individuals, they actually did. They did just that. And they were still called righteous. They didn't do it in a see, when we read it, I believe we believe we're looking at it from a standpoint as they're being disrespectful. But I don't think that's how our understanding is of it was. So at the very end of Job, you hear he said that, listen to my servant Job, for he was right and you all was wrong. So I want to make sure you all read that whole story if y'all haven't. Read the whole thing and you'll understand. So Job was called perfect. Genesis 17:1, I think it's amazing because it talks about Abraham, and he told him to come before me perfect. He said, walk before me, Tom or Tamim, perfect. Okay, this was after the things that Abraham was doing righteously before that. So it was a reminder to someone that was moving in righteousness, and they would teach that he lied too on certain things, but we're not going into all that. But someone who was moving in righteousness, he got reminded by the Most High to walk before me perfect. When he was getting the covenant that was being presented at that moment with Abraham in Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. He was reminded to be perfect, right? And he was loved, right? He was talked about in Isaiah chapter 40 or 41. Most High spoke through Isaiah saying that he loved the Most High, right? The scripture said that Abraham loved the Most High in Isaiah, and he showed meticulous reverence to the Most High. He didn't get relaxed in that department like a lot of us do. We cannot get relaxed in serving this power. We cannot get relaxed. And we do. And one of the reasons we get relaxed is because of the people that we're around. When you start hanging around people that are not what we are supposed to be, you can start to take on their characteristics if you yourself are not grounded. And even if you are grounded, you will understand that you should not be around them like that. That's what you will understand. That's not saying don't talk to them, don't message them, don't hang out every blue moon. And if they're family, you darn sure want to be a part of your family because you are that light to your family. So Abraham was called perfect, told him to walk before me perfect. He's not going to tell him to do something that he doesn't believe he could do, but it's taught that way. All right. I want to go to Ecclesiastics. No, before Ecclesiastics, I'm gonna go to 2 Kings 20, 1-6. You all can write it down. You don't have to go to it with me, but I'll go to a 2 Kings. And chapter 20. I'm going to read 1-6. This is dealing with Hezekiah. Prince taught a great lesson on this a few weeks ago. Make sure you all go back to some of the teachings in past. And he taught a lesson on Hezekiah. I want to read something what Hezekiah said. Verse 1 says, in those days Hezekiah was sick unto death, and Yeshayahu the prophet, son of Amos, went to him and said to him, thus said the Most High, command your house, for you are going to die and not live. I want to stop there real quick. This is a sidebar. A lot of us, before we pass, and I know I'm not sure if this is the greatest time to bring this out, but we need to make sure that we have our stuff in order for those after us. We have to focus on that. the leadership of the home, the leaderships of the home. We have to focus on that. Take this story right here. The Most High commanded him to command your house, for you are going to die and not live. Because if you was to pass, they got to be able to be on point, be okay. So for those that's listening, if we don't got any wills, we don't got any life insurance, things of that nature, let's work towards it. Let's be quick about it, and let's think on that. All right. Verse 2 says, and he turned his face toward the wall and prayed to the Most High, saying, I pray to you, O Most High, remember how I have walked before you in truth. Remember I said about Christianity and other people will say you should not question the Most High. You should not talk to the Most High like this. You should not challenge the Most High or remind the Most High. If he didn't remind the Most High, he will be dead. He said, I pray to you, O Yahweh, right? Oh, Yah, O Most High. Remember how I have walked before you in truth. Nehemiah and Nehemiah, I forgot what chapter exactly. He said, please remember me for the good that I have done for the people. Hezekiah said, remember, I have walked before you in truth and with a perfect heart. Just in case people are saying, what is Naseekh Shama talking about? You can't call yourself righteous. You can't call yourself this. He said, I walk before you in truth and with a perfect, the word is Tom, heart, a perfect mind. And I have done what was good in your eyes. And Hezekiah wept bitterly. And it came to be before Yeshayahu had gone out into the middle of the court that the word of the Most High came to him, saying, return and say to Hezekiah, the leader of my people, thus says the Most High, the Elohim of Dawid, or Dawid, your father. I have heard your prayer. I have seen your tears. Side note, scripture says that the Most High doesn't hear the prayers of the wicked, of the unrighteous. So if scripture says that he doesn't hear the prayers of them, do not be mad at me for saying it. Study the book. Study the literature. So this means that Hezekiah was righteous. No matter if he did something wrong, no matter if he did something that was inconsistent, he was righteous because most of his life he was consistent. He said, I've heard your prayer. I've seen your tears. And he heard them because he is righteous. And I shall add to your days 15 years and deliver you and this city from the hand of the sovereign of Ashur, and shall defend this city for my own sake and for the sake of Dawid, my servant. I want to make sure I say something. This does not mean that if something transpired to where your spirit transitions back to the Most High, that you weren't righteous. This is the contextually, this is talking about this story. But this is to say that the Most High hears you if you are righteous. And the Most High wills has to be done no matter what. Even if it's something that we don't want or don't like. So do not attach, because a lot of people do that. They will say, oh, something, you had to be wicked if this happened to you. That does not mean that's true. That's not what that means. All right. So let's jump to, I'm going to take us to Ecclesiastes 7:20. Because if I don't go here, I have not dotted all my I's, right? And crossed all my T's. Because I want to explain what this means. Ecclesiastes 7:20 says this: for there is not a righteous man on earth who does good and does not sin. I want to make sure I go there because it's important. It's not calling the righteous man the sinner, because you cannot, the Most High don't deal with sinners. Not according to the literature. I'm talking, a sinner is someone that practices daily sin, that does it intentionally, that continues to do something that they know they should not do, and it's against the Most High. That is a sinner. A sinner is someone, if something is presented, a law is presented of the Most High, and it's presented to them, and they know it now they're sinning if they're doing it willingly. Okay? Most High is merciful. I want to say they could be, they're building that level up or learn it, whatever. I want to give them that benefit of the doubt. But a sinner is someone that is consistently doing something willingly, intentionally against the Most High and against the word. I see people dropping off after I'm saying that. I hope that's just the internet. But this is reality. So when it says in 20, for there is not a righteous man on earth who does good and does not sin. This goes into a righteous man will fall 7 times. 7 times is not a number. You're going to fall. You may even break a law. But the purpose of righteousness is to, when you learn about it, not to break it anymore. Because a righteous man will fall, but they're going to get back up. And how do they get back up? By going in alignment with what has been commanded. That's how. So this isn't saying that we're sinners. This is saying, for there is not a righteous man on earth who does not break a commandment or a law. And it doesn't say why. It can simply be because they didn't know. Okay? Last place I want to take us to. I want you all to keep in mind 2 Chronicles 7:14 for yourselves. I want you all to keep in mind, it talks about humbling yourself and turn it back to the Most High. Keep in mind Isaiah chapter 1 when it says, clean yourselves. I'm reasoning. So I want you could clean yourselves. Keep that in mind. All right. The Most High wants us to do that. And then what I want you all to realize too is we have to stop looking for a reason in scriptures, within the righteous individuals in scriptures, to justify our reason of being afraid of the term righteous and perfect. We got to stop doing that. We are looking for a reason not to do it. So this is the last place I'm taking us to, and this is Psalms 14. We're going to Psalms 14. You all can follow me there. This is the last place. Is it Psalms 14? Hold on. Okay, yes, it is. Psalms 14. It says, the fool has said in his heart, there is no Most High power, right? Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, Yah, Yahweh. The fool says in their heart, there is no Most High. Why? Why is this person a fool? Because creation, how do you explain it? We know what science does. We know what the researchers and them say and all that, but there's some things that can't be answered. Right? But the fool said that there is no Elohim. Then have done corruptly, they have done abominable deeds. There is no one good or no one who does good. So people will read this and they will say that it's no one good, right? No one's righteous. It says that the Most High looked down from the heavens on the sons of mankind to see if there is a wise one seeking him. They have all turned aside. They have together become filthy. No one is doing good, not even one. When you stop right there, you would think that it's literally saying no one is doing good. But that would go against what scriptures say. That would go against what the Most High is bringing forth through our forefathers, right? Foremothers, on the term of righteousness and the literature that we just read when it called them righteous. So this is talking about the subject. That subject is the fool. None of them is righteous. He looked down from the heavens on the sons of mankind. You know how Prince say that we are something? I ain't gonna go into it because I don't want to confuse nobody just yet. Maybe he'll bring it back out. Right? And he was trying to seek one of them, not one of everybody, but one of them to see who was wise among them, because they're not wise if they say it's no Elohim. It says, have all the workers of wickedness no knowledge? Remember I said he does not hear the prayers of wicked people? Who eat up my people as they eat bread and do not call on the Most High. So here's the distinction. It says no one is righteous, the fool, right? Then it says, they eat up my people and do not call on the Most High. Those people do not call on the Most High. They are in great fear, for the Most High is with the generation of the righteous. We got to stop running away from the term righteous and perfect, because when we run away from the term righteous and perfect, then we remove ourselves from being this generation of the righteous that is for most of the Most High. And then we miss out on this that's coming up. You will put to shame the counsel of the poor, but the Most High is his refuge. Oh, that the deliverance of Israel will be given out of Sion when the Most High turns back the captivity of his people. Let Yaakov or Yisrael rejoice. Let Yisrael be glad. And with that, I yield. Be glad to know that you are righteous if you turn away from anything that is against the Most High and start today. When you start over, you have a fresh start. And when you have a fresh start, you are perfect in that fresh start. Now it's your job to continue therein with your mind and with your action. Your past is your past. Your present and your future is something new. And if people that know you or knew you before can't fathom that because they don't understand how our culture and how this literature teaches us, if they cannot understand that, you cannot dwell in that and wanting them to. You be righteous, you be perfect. Walk before the Most High perfect. Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. I pray that you all had taken notes. Pray that you all have. I pray that you all have taken the opportunity to write down some of your favorite places. Before we move on, I want to see if we have any questions or comments pertaining to the lesson, but I want to present something that's been presented in the room. And Sister Zakaria says this, because I have to give us understanding. A lot of us don't have understanding on the facts of the Creator like we should. But family, please, while we're reading this and while we're going through this, can you please be preparing your questions, because we're going to have Naseekh to take and answer some of the questions that you may have. It could be pertaining to the lesson that he just gave. It could pertain to how his lesson applies to things in your life. If you've gotten and received something from the lesson, we would like for you to comment on that as well. Just bring that to life, the importance of what you gathered. So while we're waiting for you all to type those things in a room, this is where I want to go. Sister Zakaria, Morah Zakaria, says this: I think it is a big problem regarding our understanding. We do not take the time to ask Ha'abba what he means in his word. We tend to learn on our own understanding without asking him to reveal to us. Now she responds later, or was that earlier? Yeah, it was a little bit earlier, and here it goes. This is where it starts. She says, even Abba himself tells us to remind him of his word. He wants a relationship with us, not a dictatorship. Of course, what he says goes, but he desires intimacy, not force. Hence why we have free will. That statement that she just put in the room explains a lot, covers a lot of understanding and meaning. And I had a conversation with something very similar to this with my Nasheen last night. And I need to bring it out in a manner that it can be useful for the family today. I needed that to be up there for a little bit, please. Please forgive me. She says, the Creator himself tells us to remind him of his word. And she's accurate, correct, 100%. He wants a relationship with us, not a dictatorship. Many of us don't understand what a dictatorship is. Because if you go with the definition of dictatorship based on a dictionary, then the Creator is requiring a dictatorship from us, meaning that He tells us what to do and we do it, no matter what. But she's right in her post because the Creator doesn't require a dictatorship from us. Just like any spiritual leader who runs an organization should not run it as a dictatorship in the way of righteousness. Everybody has a choice in the matter. If there's a rule given and a rule implemented, right, and you violate that rule, then you have to live with those consequences. That's not a dictatorship. That's order and structure. But people who are so all over the place with doing what they want to do when they want to do it don't want to abide by certain rules and regulations, then that's a problem. And they will see you, if you're that type of person who says, no, this is the law, these are the rules, and that's how we're going to move. Well, everybody got to have a vote. No, they don't. You don't have to have a vote. It's not about your vote or your opinion in a matter when rules are set in place. The thing is, whether you're going to do what thus the law is, or you're not going to do what the law is. So, Sister Zakaria, I truly appreciate what it is that you put here because it defies a lot of the understanding of most people. Even Abba himself, talking about the Creator, tells us to remind him of his word. He wants a relationship with us, not a dictatorship. The Most High desires a relationship with us. But the wicked mind of people who really don't want to do the will of the Creator will say that that's a dictatorship. You either do what I say do or you die. Those are not the consequences. In Beulah Land, Temple Kepharim, you do what the law requires for you to do, or you just can't be there. We're not going to kill you, but we're not going to surround ourselves with unwilling people, unwilling participants to walk this walk with us. That's not who we are. That's not how we operate. So, Sister Zakaria, just like you said, the Most High requires, he wants a relationship with us, not a dictatorship. We don't have a dictatorship either. We want a relationship with all of those who seek to please the Creator. Because if you truly seek to please the Creator, you won't have a problem with order, structure, and discipline being implemented in your life. It's those of us who want to be buck wild, those of us who want to maintain that Western mind state that want to do what we want to do and don't want nobody else telling us what to do. They are the ones with the problem. Those are the ones who have a difficult time adhering to things when they're putting order and put in place if they go against the person's desires. And usually to violate somebody's desires, all you need to do is violate their pleasures, things that they like to do, things that make them feel good, things that they get satisfaction out of. The moment you disrupt that, oh, this ain't what I want, then you are able to leave. It's just that simple. No one's going to force you. If your understanding is about your way and the only way is your way, then that's an issue. We don't desire for those type of people to be a part of our community and what we're doing. You may have insight where you can bring things to the table and you can cause the leadership to see things differently. You may have that insight. You may do, but please don't be disappointed if what you've been doing, it has been required of you or requested of you to alter your behavior and move in a different direction. And you don't have to do it. You don't have to confirm. But at the same time, we don't have to be in the midst of people who want to live wickedly and do whatever their heart tells them to do. Because if you're going to live by the laws of the Creator, you have to submit yourself to the laws of the Most High. That's first and foremost in all things. All right? So may the Most High be praised. We're going to go to some of the questions that might be here in the room. Naseekh, are you available?
Can you all hear me? It says, is it necessary to read the Torah cover to cover from beginning to end, Genesis to Revelation? Great question. So Torah is the first 5 books. Typically, you will hear me perhaps Prince as well, say Tanakh. So Tanakh it's abbreviation, the T sound, the N sound, the K sound. It is Torah, Nebi'im, which is prophets, and then Ketubim, which is writings, like Ecclesiastes, Psalms, Proverbs. And the Torah is the first 5 books. So to answer your question directly, it is necessary to read the Torah cover to cover, which is the first 5 books, because that's the understanding. In the Tanakh, that's the only place you're going to see, thus says the Most High. That is what our forefathers and mothers believe that was spoken from the Most High. That's why you see thus says. So the Torah is the foundation. I typically say, and this is not sound doctrine. This is just what I say. Torah law, right? Because this is the law and it's instructions. Because Torah just means instructions, and there are instructions within the rest of the abbreviated statement Tanakh. With the Nebi'im, there are instructions that the prophets have given. There are instructions within the writings, the Ketubim, that can help facilitate or strengthen our life and walk in path with the Most High and our life in general with our family. But the Torah, the first 5 books, is what governs our people. That's what you need. And if many people of today in our community and even in Christianity establish the Torah, most things that we see happening today would not happen. And the way I can prove that is when you think of Koreans, Jewish community, Amish, like those type of people, they have their structure, they have their laws, and they have their governing laws from whatever they have that goes over them. And in our case, the Tanakh it goes over us as our foundation. Hopefully, I answered the question.
All right, family, are there any other questions, any other comments? Would anyone like to post anything special that they've gotten out of the lesson of today?
Zakeda Tasilia says, to me, righteousness is walking in the way the Most High has designed for us to walk. Our weaknesses does not deter us from our focus to do what we are commanded to do.
I just wanted to say that for me, today's lesson, just, and it's quite often, when we go through these classes, that the lesson is just a reminder to continue the path you're on. Like, it's something I say to people, it's not easy. It's not easy being an Israelite when everybody else around you isn't, especially if you are one out of your family, where you're separated from your family and you're raising your children, and you have a husband or you have a wife, and you all are that core that walk in this path, and everybody else around you, your blood family does not follow this way. And it's something that was said in the comments by a few people of, this is that form of separation, that form of standing in your righteousness, that form of kind of like taking control and just being proud of who you are. And so it's just a reminder for me specifically that, we chose the Most High and He chose us in so many, words or ways. And so it's important that we stand on what we truly believe that the Most High chose us to do in righteousness, and continue to perfect ourselves before Him. Because by perfecting ourselves before Him, we perfect ourselves with one another, which makes us stronger. Because if each one of us are working towards that same goal of righteousness and perfection, then we become a unit of that, and we become stronger to be able to be a shield against what the world, has put already is in place. They have set their anchors and their walls of wickedness up. And so it's going to take us to build that same type of enforcement to be just as impactful with our righteousness and positivity. So Todah for today's lesson. Zehu.
All right, may the Most High be praised. All right, brother has put
Want me
up,
to read it?
once we have, you see I'm on mute?
No,
Once
I was
we
saying
have-
I didn't know if you wanted me to read it or not. So likely.
Oh, sure, you can do it. Go ahead, you can do it. No problem.
All right. He says, once we have learned our law, we have to learn how to execute righteous judgment. I agree wholeheartedly. How can we be a people of law without righteous judgment? So I don't know if that was a question, Prince. I don't know if you want to take it, or if you want me to take it.
Do your thing, Naseekh.
So how can we be a people of law without righteous judgment? I would say this: we always been a people of law and operated without righteous judgment. I showed something earlier. I don't know how true the number is, but it was talking about out of 41 leaders or rulers, only 5 of them didn't error. When you think of Isaiah chapter 28, when it talks about the leader of Ephraim, that's basically what that whole topic is about. They weren't righteously judging the people. So to answer your question, we need to press to be the remnant of people. And we need to get with communities that are righteous and are not afraid of having order and structure, as Prince brought out, and be willing to actually allow that order and structure to take place in their lives. Because most of us at Yisrael, it's nothing new from back then to today, but that's not to discourage. We can accomplish this. We just got to want to.
Excellently put.
The Bear Autumn says, very impactful lesson once again. Naseekh Shama told out for reminding us about what it means to be righteous and that it's something to continually strive for, and that the Most High appreciates when we choose Him, even after multiple falls. Excellent. I need my scheme. I agree. And Todah, all praises to the Most High and glory goes to Him.
One of the things we have to keep in mind, family, is that we practice righteousness for purpose. We practice, and that purpose is that we practice righteousness is so that we can perfect it. That means that we are to live in our righteousness throughout the days of our lives. Most people have come from a life of whoredom, a life of stealing, a life of murdering, a life of all types of wickedness, drunkenness, marijuana abuse, all types of things. Many people have come from those different walks of life, all to find the Creator and never return back to those lifestyles again. Ultimately, that's the goal. When you find people who are living the life that you desire for yourself, you gravitate toward those people. You might not have the finances to just pack up and go move and be with those people, but you come to places like this. You commune. If the people having events, you go to the events if you can. If they're having calls and conference calls and different lessons and teachings, you go and you participate. You surround yourself with righteousness. The more you surround yourself in righteousness, with your mind state, you will gravitate toward that spirit, and you yourself can become righteous. We have to understand that the righteous is not a simple thing of you just turning off from one day and saying, I'm not going to do this no more, I'm going to do this for good. That first step is an act of righteousness, but the completeness of that righteousness doesn't come until you start living that life for a period of time. You have to submerge yourself with people and with those actions of righteousness in order for you to receive the fullness thereof. And a lot of us don't understand that, but that's okay. But just believe and keep in mind and know for a fact, don't believe, know for a fact that the circle you keep dictates the type of spirit and personality you're going to have. So if you want to change, but yet you're still hanging around the same people doing the same things, then you'll never change. You don't have to pack up and move into another city in order to become the person you know you need to be. A lot of people teach you that one of those steps of alcoholism or crackhead taking you away from the drugs, substance abuse, is that they tell you, come stay with us on this land. When you get yourself better, then you can go back. If you can't fix yourself in the environment where you are, changing location is not going to change the person you are. It might help to pacify the situation, but you got to get strong with the environment in which you're in to be as productive as you can possibly be. And that's why most people, not all people, some people are just exceptional, but most people who go to these programs and change locations, they either not go back to their old environment, or they go back to their old environment and shortly thereafter, they fall victim to their same habits. Because it's a cycle, it's a lifestyle that causes you to sin. The lifestyle that we live that causes us to be prone toward wickedness and evil. And the lesson today that my brother is teaching is about righteousness and perfecting, how to get out of that same cycle of sin to better yourself, to bring in and usher in a perfection about your character, a perfection about your behavior, a perfection about your mind state. That's what it's all about. So it's not the place that you live that's going to help you to change. It's you being determined and the circle that you keep to determine that change is going to manifest itself within you. And once you get that, you begin that process where you at, then you can come to a place where people can help you get along and do better. But don't think that just coming, hey, I'm going to move on Beulah land with those righteous people and I'm going to be a better person. It don't work that way. You have to first have that desire within yourself to be different. And then you have to begin to work where you are to be different, to be better, to be healed, because it's really a state of sickness, a bunch of negative, evil spirits that take a hold of you and get wrapped up inside your essence that you don't understand how to release and shake them. So you don't have to be perfect when you come and you be a part of what we're doing. We're not looking for perfection because none of us are perfect in every way. But when you take the average of us and compare it to the people in the world, we're perfect. Any one of us, we're perfect. But if you compare us to the absolute of perfection, then we're very far from perfect and we got a long way to go. So it's all about association, who you're comparing us to in relevance to the perfectional state that we possess. And that's what the key of this lesson is about. I like the part when he put out the part about a sinner. He spoke a little bit about sinners and a sinner. Those are different things. A sinner is somebody who perpetuates sin daily throughout their days. Everything about them is just wicked. Those are sinners, people who live in sin. But you can sin, have an accident or make a mistake or do something sinful, go back and repent and never repeat it again. That doesn't make you a sinner. You are guilty of committing a sin, but the sinner is the person who lives in it, not the person who realizes it was wrong, correct their behavior, and never revisit it again. That's the difference, and that's what this lesson is all about. Therefore, if you're not repeating sin perpetually in your life, then you're perfect and you're righteous. You're righteous and you're perfect. As long as you're doing what your understanding is before the Creator, you're living in it to your fullest. then you exemplify perfection and righteousness in your personality, in your character, in your understanding, and your behavior. May the Most High be praised with those things. All right, Sister Zakaria.
She said, excellent lesson. And absolutely, you have to desire, you have to have the desire for righteousness. And as you desire righteousness, Abba will grant it unto you and place you in spaces that will assist in that growth. I agree, 100%.
That brother, the brother Daniel, I believe it's the 9th chapter, 10th chapter. The 9th chapter, I believe it is. When Gabriel, the angel, came to him, Gabriel said, from the moment you set your mind on righteousness, your prayers were heard. So you don't have to actually do it. You got to convince yourself. I mean, you have to do it completely. You have to convince yourself that this is what I'm going to do, and you got to step out there and begin the process. How many of you who are here in this room today, or within the sound of my voice, you might be listening to a recording later, how many of you have actually went to the Most High and asked the Most High for forgiveness of your past behavior in your life? All the wickedness, all the evil, all the whoredoms, all the drugs that you polluted yourself with, all the foods that you ate that was no good, all the abominable actions that you did by not showing honor and trust and loyalty to those who deserved it. How many of you have actually went to the Most High and asked him to forgive you of that? Because most people leave that stuff out the equation when they begin their journey back to the Creator. They don't think they owe anybody anything. They don't think they owe the Creator anything by way of what they used to do. Oh, well, I ain't doing it no more, so that's enough. And it's not enough. It's not enough because those spirits are still attached to you until you release them. They're just going to hide. It's like the ego. It's just going to hide until it finds a space to reveal itself and come back out again. That's why you got to go to the Most High and ask him to forgive you so he can remove those spirits from you. And you know, a lot of us males here, we was a piece of work, man. We didn't care about these women. We used them, we abused them, we disrespected them. We just treated them like trash. We stepped all over them and we went on to the next one. Did the same thing to her, on to the next one. Did the same thing to her, and we done racked up about 500-600 chicks. Wickedness. And then we learn about the Most High. We come to the Most High, and not once do we ask him to forgive us for all them lives that we destroyed. All that wickedness that we did until the day when we found the Most High. We don't do that. For a lot of us, we don't. But then we come to the Most High expecting him to accept our prayers and to hear our voice when we cry. He heard you. He gave you the opportunity. Now you got to go back and make it right. And a lot of times in making it right, you got to go back to those people that you violated, if you know them or you can find them. And you have to ask their forgiveness, and then the Most High will accept you. If you can't find them, if you don't know them, that's one thing. But the ones that you can find, that you do know, you need to go make it right for them, because people will hold on to negativity about you. I'm talking about justified negativity. And if that person is a decent person and you really did them wrong, the Most High will hold you back from receiving the blessings he has in store for you because of the wrong you did to that individual. So go back sometimes and ask them people for forgiveness of what you may have done to them. And then go to the Father and ask the Father to have mercy on you. And then never repeat that behavior again. For that is the platform of righteousness and perfection. That's what we have to understand, family. Brother Charles said he needs contact for further information. Naseekh, you want to take care of that? You got a way to contact the brother? All right, total report. All right, I want to see what my brother here said. Cain, learn to limit your iniquities Make sure your good outweighs your bad and start to establish good credit with the Most High and keep a good credit level, just as you would like to keep a good credit score. You know what's important about what he just said? Establishing good credit with the Most High? A lot of people question why Dawid wasn't put to death when he committed adultery with Bathsheba. Y'all remember that? Why Dawid? Because Dawid had excellent credit. Dawid had excellent credit with the Creator, just like my brother said, just like Raya said. Dawid had excellent credit with the Most High. And that's why the Most High didn't take him out like he could have. Plus, the Most High wasn't finished using him yet. The Creator still has some stuff for him to do. But that's exactly the point. You establish good credit by your good deeds. But I want you to know this, and I want you to know this, brothers and sisters. Because you got good credit don't mean you can't sin. And because you got good credit with the Creator don't mean he won't hold you accountable in all instances. Because it just may be because of, like the book of Exodus, the book of Ezekiel speaks about, Ezekiel 18, I believe it's verse 21, 22. It speaks about the man who does righteousness all of his life. And then one day he starts to do evil. Oh, no, but see that when he starts to do evil, don't mean that he did one evil act. He started to do evil, meaning he took on sin as a nature. All of his righteous deeds will be forgotten, and the Most High will hold him accountable, and he shall die in his sin. And he also says, just like the man who did wickedness all of his days. He did wickedness all of his days. And then he turned one day, and he went to the Most High and asked the Most High for help. And he turned from his wickedness, and he began to do righteousness, or righteously. Then the Most High said, all those wicked deeds that he did shall be forgiven of him. And that man has the opportunity to a new life of perfection, a new life of righteousness, just like today's lesson was all about. A life of perfection and righteousness. And like Naseekh said, don't let nobody ever tell you or put it in your mind that you can't be perfect, because you can be. Don't let nobody ever tell you and put it in your mind that you can't be righteous, because you can be. You have to desire it, and you have to desire to want to be it, and you have to implement it in your life. May the Most High be praised. I just realized what time it was. Please forgive me. Y'all ain't even give me no hint. I must have been talking on some good stuff.
I sent a message.
I didn't see it. My apologies. So I tell you what, let's burn it out to the 15 minute. We got some stuff up coming up. Let's burn it out to the 15th minute. Zachariah, this is Zachariah. Morah says, Cain, he was a man after his own heart. He truly sought to serve Abba with all of his heart. King Dawood messed up a few times, but he still strove to be perfect. He kept getting back up. That's exactly right. He kept getting back up. May the Most High be praised. All right, it's at 15. No, it's still a little early. We got 2 minutes, y'all. We got 2 minutes. Any other comments or questions? All right. All right, we're going to let it go then, since there's no more comments or questions. Nobody else want to get anything else in. May the Most High be praised.
So we'll return at 3:15.
Yes, we're going to return. Well, we're going to return at 3 o'clock. We're going to return back at 3 o'clock. We can't do that because a lot of people don't come till the second half. And if we're not there at 3 o'clock, they think that we're going to not come today. So I don't want to turn back to 3:15. Let's turn back at 3 o'clock. May the Most High be praised. Creator willing, we see you all at 3 o'clock. If it is his will. May the Most High be praised. Shalom, shalom, family.
Shalom.